Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the most recent live. I've not done one of these for a long, long time. Um, I'll link on 20 minutes after. Put a link up, and if anybody wants to come up, ask some questions, get involved, want to say anything, then more than welcome. Big Kev might be along. Basil's busy in a space just now. He might be along if he's not too busy with that, tied up with that for too long. But I kind of wanted, obviously, we've got the election coming up, and that's quite important to me because I think most people in will understand for election in Holyrood, elections on the 7th of May. Um, people come in when I need new buy and walk in front of me and what was normally in my computer screen up there. See everything looking. I think the camera seems to be getting jammed a wee bit, so camera is blockade internet, so it shouldn't be that. Anyway, the election absolutely shocking. I'll test is an absolute industry. Some horrible people. Don't get me wrong, there are some alright people in it. There's some that I don't really have a problem with. There's some that I would say are decent people. But the vast majority, unfortunately, are absolute rogues and vagabonds. And I'm not just talking about the ones that are elected, by the way. Some of the ones that aren't elected and are trying to get election, they're absolutely shocking people. They're just no nice people. And some of this stuff, I tell you, there was one particular, it was a candidate him and his wife were like 8th and 9th and so that happened. Then a few days later, there's a guy called Dave Griff who's on Twitter. You might see him, he comments on a lot of my stuff. The guy wrote one day that for what I hear, you'll be dead soon. And Scotland will be just one less side of it. I didn't know the pure answer. And that's not even the way they talk. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely terrible people. And the whole that state of politics. Get some good I mean, so there's only uh, oh, I know what it might be. It might be some of the what do you call these things? Security. Yeah, in a second or two. So thanks for letting us know that's buffering. Hopefully, what I've done there will sort that. So anyway, what I was saying was this politics, right? See, when I put my name on the papers and submitted them, there was three possible outcomes. One of them would be get completely ridiculed and embarrassed by getting hardly any votes. One would be to get a load of votes and do well, but just not make it. Or the third option is you get over the line, you get enough votes to get you in. Well, I'm quite happy to suggest that the embarrassing one's not an option anymore. So I think I'm either going to get in or get a right good result because the feedback I'm getting, even on the when I'm out in the streets, it's just phenomenal. It's just absolutely fantastic. And I Is that better, by the way? So a lot of folks saying, it's better. What was I saying, Scotty? I wasn't saying anything. I was just killing time you got here, mate. So I'm quite happy to say I'm not going to get embarrassed. This is just phenomenal. The feedback that I'm getting when I'm out and about and when I'm online, it's just mental. And it's really humbling, the amount of support I'm getting. I've got people out in four areas in Glasgow today putting out my leaflets. And that's just blown me away. I'm getting probably more support as an independent candidate than some candidates are getting who are party candidates. Because I know, talking to some of them, that their parties do nothing for them. Unless you're in the Groovy Gang and it's, you're one of the top couple of candidates, you're not going to get any support. So that's been really encouraging. And what I'm sensing out there is the public are just sick of the political parties. None of them. There's just none of them out there doing what they should be doing. They all do this thing. I done a video about this the other day. I'm dead straight, and I said, I'm a Rangers fan. I'm a Unionist, right? So get over that, right? And the amount of people who are neither of those two things that are still supporting me, because they just see a guy that is concerned about the same things as them, the safety of our females, the safety of our kids, the poor education, lack of social housing, terrible NHS. All these things are concerns to people, regardless if they support the same football team as me or they want, ultimately, an independent Scotland. So I'm able to break those barriers down, right? And I always knew I would get some support from, other communities, but the support I'm getting for these communities is far more than I expected. Then I see parties who should have their core base, right, like Reform and Labour and these sort of people. And what they do is, to try and get more votes, they kind of try to pretend they know what they should be. And they pander to people. And I'm going, do you know what? I'm able to stand up and say, I am a Rangers fan, I'm a Unionist. So what? See about the rest of the stuff if you agree with me and what I'll do up that building. Get behind me. And I'm able to get support by being straight and just being me. But I kind of think what's happening with parties is they're so scared to lose any demographic whatsoever and lose a couple of votes that they need to kind of lose their core voters. And Reform and Labour are very poor at that. I've seen the last few days, and Labour have been even suggesting that the landscape of Scotland might change, whereas they're meant to be a unionist party. And what they're doing there, they're trying to abide, they're trying to obviously pander to people who maybe aren't the unionists. And you think, no, you're allowed to say I'm a unionist, right? But here's all the stuff I'll do for you if I get into Parliament. And they seem incapable of doing it. And I've got to the point, right? I had to consider what I'd done with my first vote. And for those that don't understand, in Scotland, there's two different elections run to fill that house. The first is just a normal election where constituencies first past the post, same as general elections. And then the other half of the seats go to the regions, which are like 8 or 9 constituencies put together. So that's what we call the second ballot, and that's the one I'm on. And the reason being, to win a constituency as an independent would be quite difficult, right? But to win, there's 7 seats in the regional list. So it actually becomes very achievable for people like me, as long as I've got a decent platform, get enough support. I actually should be able to do this. The biggest thing I see that might put people off voting for me is they don't understand the rules, and they think, like the big guy, reality though, is he going to win a seat? Well, it would be no if it was a normal seat, it's constituency I was running for. But they need to understand it's only 1 seat out of 7 that are available on the regional list. So when you go into the ballot and you look at all these sheets on the ballot paper, all these names in the ballot paper, there's 7 seats to get given out there. So it ain't going to be difficult, right? And there's somebody saying the exact same as me, Gary, Reform and Labour. I've got no idea what they stand for. They both get flip-flop leaders. And there was another thing happened today, right? They were on their debate last night, and they were on this debate, right, and Malcolm Offord decided to divulge to the public a private conversation that they had. Now, whether he's right or wrong to do that, I don't care, right? But he done it. And Anis Sarwar denied it. Now, what I seen in that story is what nobody in the media picked up on. They were just wanting to have this argument all day today and say, who's telling the truth? Because Sarwar denies it, right? But where I would have went if I was a political journalist and had the honour of talking to these people, I would be offered today, right up, Malcolm. So you were made this offer by the leader of an opposition party, opponents of yours, but you have a common ground on you're meant to be unionists and you want rid of the SNP. So this other party leaders came to you, offered to work together with a common goal of getting shot the SNP. So what I would like to know is, did you agree to do that? Or did you totally ignore that offer? Because what they're telling us to do, they're telling us that you must vote this way and you must vote that way to get rid of the SNP. When it's always them. Reform are telling you, vote for us in the first and second vote. Labour are telling you, vote for us in the first and second vote. They're both telling you, we're the only people that can beat the SNP and you must do that, right? So what they want us to do is do the hard work for them, right? What they should be doing is, if they are what they tell us and it's all about getting rid of the SNP, should be working together. So I would have loved somebody in the media to have actually asked. You couldn't have asked Anis Sarwar because he's denying it even happened. But if you think about it, the logical question would be offered. Well, this happened. What did you do? Did you reject it? Because if you rejected it, don't tell us you want to do what's best for Scotland by beating the SNP, by rejecting an opportunity to work with another party, because they are going to be the second and third biggest votes when this is finished. You would imagine and hope that Labour reform were second and third and it wasn't the bloody Greens, right? That would just be mental. And if Offord said, no, I ignored it, you think, well, you're not putting your country before party. And they're all doing it. And now I'm getting attacked, believe it or not, by I'm now getting attacked by reform people. They're actually saying, I'm going to ruin this. I'm going to cause an SNP majority by standing in one region as one person. Well, why is that possible? Saying you're influencing people. I went, well, if I'm influencing people and that's going to affect what Reform are trying to do as a national party, don't point a finger at me. Yous are the guys that are rejecting offers to work with other parties, right? So if SNP do end up with a majority, it's not through me. I'm only sitting in one place with one seat. That's what I want, right? They're all saying, it's the usual. They want everybody to unite, but it's always going to be in their terms. Always going to be in their terms. And this Mr McKenna, that's the most mad thing I've ever heard in my life. As poor as they are, the SNP kept Westminster honest. Is that right? Aye. So they can be the worst government we've ever got, but because they don't like Westminster, that's kind of somehow acceptable. Well, I tell you what, I hate the two of the governments. That's allowed, right? And the fact that as poor as they are, the SNP keep Westminster honest. No, they don't. They don't keep anybody honest. They're down there like that. We'll roar. You get 9 seats. Sit down and shut up. Here's another crank as well. It's the same person. SNP are the only Scottish party. The rest are controlled by Westminster. Geese peace, right? Honest to God. If that's your justification, us having a terrible country, then go and honestly stick your head out the window and shout at the moon, right? Because I ain't listening. Absolute mental stuff are coming up. So what I was thinking, right? And I'm not sure where I want to go with this. So don't anybody go, oh, that Big Craig's going to do this, right? Because I'm considering this though. And that is maybe go to the electorate, even just in Glasgow, and say, I don't know how to vote for the first one, right? Unfortunately, if I want to dent the SNP, then I should vote, because it's statistically proven, I should be voting Labour. I don't know if I can stomach that, right? Because they're rotten, right? And the party who are also, they're rotten, but are closest to my politics is Reform. But I can't think I can stomach voting for them either, right? So what I was thinking about today, and I've put a wee post out on Twitter just to get other people's feedback on this. Have a campaign to bin the first votes. Just bin your first votes, because I can't think of one that actually deserves it. in my constituency, right? So if tens of thousands of people in Glasgow binned the first vote and voted for me or whoever they want in the second vote, that would be a big mad message to these politicians to say, do you know what? You're all shite. And I've had even somebody for the Labour Party come at me just like 10 minutes after I put that in X, and he got short shift, right? When he came at me with his comments like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and blah, blah, blah. I'll do what I want, right? Labour are a terrible party. I tell you things, I've got things that happened to me in May concerning the Labour Party, and I've never spoke out yet, but I will be soon. Martin, loads of people want to vote Restore, but we're in Scotland right now, and they've not got a single candidate up here. Now, what is happening though is most of the Restore new set up branches up here are saying, you know what, we don't have any candidates at this election, so vote Big Craig, right? And I'm loving it, because Restore are a party, again, that I can see myself being aligned to very close with the policies that they're putting out. So it's great to have their support. I've also, to be fair, I'll come to this in a wee second, pal, no dodge that question. I would also need to thank the Advanced Scotland members up here, because they, as branches, have told their members, go and vote for Big Craig in Glasgow. They've got, I think, 8 members scattered about the place, and they've said, look, we're no head-to-head with Craig, go and vote for Craig in Glasgow, and I really appreciate that, and I hope they also do well in the regions where they're good candidates. I had another party, a wee party called ADF, who I kind of got on with the leader of them for a long time, nice guy, met him a few times, spoke to him umpteen times, but he said something a bit weird. He made a claim, I put it on Twitter, that there was a arrangement, was it an arrangement or an agreement? I think it was an arrangement, he said, between ADF, me, and Advanced for this election. And I was like, no, there isn't. So I went, look, there is no arrangement here. Would you mind deleting that post? Because that's not true. And he went in a mad tirade of abuse. That I was MI5 and all this stuff, and a Zionist and all this pish, right? And I'm like, that's a guy that I've spoke to and met in the real world, right? Who's trying whatever he wants to do to try and make Scotland and the UK better. Good luck to him, right? But when I point out he's made an allegation which is untrue, that we've got any sort of arrangement, then would you mind deleting it? And I get all this torrent of abuse, and I thought, this politics is a horrible game. It's even turning half-decent folk into absolute lunatics, right? And I must admit, I'm like, oh, there's another thing. Somebody said to me, you know, you might be a politician soon. And I thought, I don't want to be a politician, right? So what I've said is, if I get into Holyrood, I will view myself as a civil servant, not a politician, because that's kind of what you should be doing. You should be serving the civilians of the country. Do you know what I mean? So you don't need to be you don't need, I don't want to be called a politician. And do you know what I was thinking? See, if you get in and then you go on holiday and you meet folk in the hotel, and like, what would you do for a living? And you have to tell me you're a politician. You'd have no mates for the fortnight in your holiday, right? And when I go on holiday, I kind of don't want to talk about politics. I hate politics. I genuinely hate politics, right? I'm not doing this because I want to be a politician. I'm doing this because I feel if I can get that seat, we can make a genuine difference to our country. And that's it. And when I say that, I mean the UK. Because if I could pull this off in Scotland, well, that infuse other people who are not politicians to then, when the Westminster elections come up in 3 years, or the Glasgow, all the council elections in Scotland come up next year, to go, do you know what? That big guy can do it. I've watched him in that Holyrood, holding people to account, speaking up for the people of Scotland. I can do that. Bloody great. That'd be fantastic, right? But what we've got to know, politicians, being politicians is just nuts. Right, so somebody's asked me a question. Would you ever associate with SDP if elected? I wouldn't serve as an MSP for SDP. Made that quite clear. Would I associate with them again? Of course I would. There's good people in there. There's absolutely great, fantastic policies. Some of the best policies I've seen. The way that they want to deal with energy in the country, for example. The way they want to deal with immigration. Now, what you need to remember as well, though, and a lot of people I know are Restore fans just now, Restore only recently became a party. Before that, they were a think tank. And the leader of the SDP is a man who I've got to know over the last couple of years, and I always hold him in very high regard, and that's William Clouston. William Clouston was a member of Restore when it was a think tank. And when you look at their policy on migration, particularly sending people to the Ascension Islands in the middle of the Atlantic, that's straight out the SDP playbook. And although SDP don't get much limelight, and they do decent in sort of council level in a few areas in England, they really punch above their weights for writing policy. They're fantastic at it. So would I reassociate myself with SDP if elected? Yeah, but not as a serving MSP. That's not going to happen. We've had that discussion, and I made myself quite clear that that's no where we're going. In the 8th of May, if I get in. And I kind of, as each day goes by, I'm getting more confident that we're pulling this off. But the biggest problem, and what I need you to do if you are, Hoosty fans and you want me to get in, is when you're saying to people, your friends and family, look, at least consider, Craig. You need to make sure they know that this is not unachievable simply because I'm on the regional list and there's 7 seats. Because I probably wouldn't vote for an independent candidate on a first past the post normal constituency seat. And a lot of people voting in Scotland don't actually understand what happens with the votes in Scotland. So, what some people think is you put your favourite party in the first one and your least second favourite party in the next one, and that's not the way it works. You can put both if you want. You can put none if you want, and just vote in one. So we need people. If you are going to try and help me get votes, please impress people with it. How not difficult this is, because there's 7 seats up for grabs. I could come about 4th or 5th on the list of votes when they tally them up and still get in. It's kind of the way it goes. So I hope that's answered your question. I don't even know who that is. Igloo. Let me see any more here. This is weird because I'm now looking at this teleprompter. When I'm normally looking down here, the comments are about that size. Now they're about that size. I maybe need to get my specs out the motor. Restore aren't running candidates yet. Know that. I think if Restore were, it's a bit early for Restore. Eric's saying Restore aren't serious yet. Just a lot of buzz. Lowe's doing good work regardless of political faction. This was just too soon. If they wanted to put people up here, they're probably enough members to do that. They've probably done it in other county councils that are going down south. But I think listening to people that I know that are in their party is they kind of just wanted to, let's play it cool, let's do it right, let's get our branches set up so that when we go into elections at local level, we've got branches that can support candidates, and that kind of makes sense to me. But I think that, they've got the ambition to smash it in 2029 for the next general election. So, that's cool. That's what they're aiming to do. And great to them. Now, here's the thing. Craig Houston and Tommy Sheridan, the G52 debate, what a view, and that was actually offered to me. Sean Toll, I've been on his podcast before, Social Sessions. Forgive me, Sean, if you're watching, because I've just took a brain fart there. I think I had them on saying it's the socialist sessions. The big one's a socialist, doesn't deny it, right? Me and him got on great. We disagree in a few things politically, but we're both decent folk, right? And he had suggested that this could happen, me and Tommy. But I kind of think the fact that Tommy's now blocked me on his Twitter, that it ain't happening. So that's kind of, I would love to do that. And do you know what? It would be good for me because Tommy Sheridan is an experienced parliamentarian. He's done it. I've only been doing this 2 years. So having debates with people like that would be great practice. What's happening here? I'm trying to click on the comments, but this one here, advanced or best shout just now then, Craig? Well, no, because right now in the whole of Scotland, because they're not competing in the whole of Scotland. They have got some candidates, like, excuse me, and I wish I had written down, but they've got 8 candidates over the Scotland, and I'm sure, I know a couple of them, and I'm sure they'll be good people. They're certainly a party, again, with sound policies, and similar to my own politics, I don't see that much of a difference between what I think and what your average advanced person. Have they got enough momentum just now to make a difference? I don't know, is the honest answer, but are they a good shout? Well, yeah, if you're in an area that's got an advanced candidate, then they're all worth a shout. But can they win? I don't know. Again, they might, on some of the lists, they might have a chance, if they can get strong enough in the regions. What's this? Who's this? MI5 vibes. There's a grass. um, I do apologise because the way the screen's set up, these are like dead small. What's that? Wait a minute, am I missing something? Craig's not STP anymore. Sorry, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm still a member of the STP, Scotty, but I stood down as the leader just a couple of days before the papers went in for the election, and there was a few reasons, right? There's no front page story here. I'd done a video explaining it the following day, and one of the factors was they were going to financially support me and with manpower as well. And one of the things I thought, well, that means that their members are then paid for a guy that's going to be an independent. And I thought, I didn't sit comfortably. There was a few daft things, right? It was no fault, right? I've still got pals in SDP and I'm still a member. So that's fine. There's a cracker. You'd make a great First Minister, Craig. Can you imagine it? That would get the heads melting. Scotty knows independent, right? I think I'm trying to catch up with the comments here. It is a wee bit difficult, this, because I'm looking at this wee monitor in front of me. So it's a wee bit more awkward for me to control this here. It's good that I'm looking like that right at the camera, so but it's maybe a bit difficult than I thought it would. So I'm just trying to see. Do us a favour, guys. I don't mind answering any questions, but if you could maybe just put a queue in front of them, it means when I'm scanning through questions. It's great. You've got some great wee community when we do these lives, all blethering and stuff to each other, but it's making it a wee bit difficult for me. I'm actually just going to bail out here the now, put that down there, and see what you're saying here. Well, there's somebody there, and Angelina, she's got a candidate. Thanks for that. Get Dumbarton. You can't vote for me. Claire, move house, right? Just you need to adopt a Glaswegian. That's what you need to do. You need to find somebody you know that's in Glasgow that's maybe got a vote and don't intend to vote, and just say, you need to vote. You need to vote for Craig for me. That would be nice. We should do that. Get adopt a Ouija thing going on across the nation. That would be quite good fun. Where are we? What's this Scottish saying? Restore and advanced, even though I'm 100% behind them, they are too new. They haven't had the time to grow up yet. We're expecting far too much too soon. Yeah, I think as well, even advanced who get a wee bit of a head start in forming the party and stuff, to try and get coverage over all the regions in Scotland, going to be a tough ask, right? Now, Restore have smashed it. They get more members quicker. But even at that time, just to arrange all the stuff that you need to do, it's quite intensive. And, it probably is too difficult. Makes sense, Craig. I must have missed that. Me making sense? Aye, you missed that. Who's for PM, man? That'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? I and my family would vote Craig, but I'm still in Clydebank. What you need to do, mate, you need to move about 2 mile. Just walk up Dumbarton Road, right, and say to somebody, you voting? No. Right, can I get your vote? Go on there and tick that box for Big Craig. That's what Clydebank's got to do. And if you don't do that, I'm not talking to you ever again, right? Right, what's this? James Monteith, energy, discuss. I'm kind of, I don't know what you mean by that question, but if you mean, should we bin one of our best resources in the nation, which is the North oil fields, the North Sea oil fields? No, not at all. Anybody that thinks that's a decent idea is potty and barking mad. I would get a hat that says drill. See that? Let Scotland work. See that? That means a lot of things. That means like let us work as like a government. That would be nice because that ain't worked for 19 years, right? Let us work as a nation on industry because we don't have any. We get this shite that we're going to have a transition to green energy, right? A just transition. So what we'll do is we'll lay off thousands of people off oil industry and all the ancillary industries that feed into that. And what we'll do is we'll build windmills that once they're built need about 7 men to work in the biggest ones that we've got, right? That's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Now, if we even got to net zero, it'd make such a small difference to the planet if that's even needed, because that's a whole other debate, right? But you're like, it doesn't make sense. So, just realised something. I hope. Hello? Hello? Aye. I hope the microphone's working. It wasn't looking. It should. Right, back to questions. Some great questions, actually. Um, Craig, can you have my second vote, thank you. But I'm not, so no decent ones there. But I don't like Farage. Do I vote him for a tactical vote? It depends where you are, Jackie, and it depends what you want to achieve. You might be in an area that, if it's to get shot at the SNP, that they might be destined to come third. So it wouldn't make any difference. It might be Labour, it might be Lib Dem, it might be Tories. It's best in your area. But if your idea of a good result would be to get shot at the SNP, if you go on to Scotland in Union, it's a website. Can't remember if it's .com or .co.uk. You put your postcode in, it'll tell you. And that's purely if you want to tactically vote to get rid of the SNP. And hopefully, well, here we go. Claire White, I was brought up in Scotstoun. I know Big Rab. We moved to. But is that the big? I don't know if Big Rab's in the chat or if that's Big Rab that's helping me with the leaflets and stuff. He's crackers, isn't he? Right, where are we going? Well, that's another one. You need to find somebody in my area, right, and tell them to vote for me. Did you write Big Craig Rat on the Cage yourself? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It was he's Tech Reality. He comes in here quite a bit. He's on Twitter. He comes onto these. You might see him in the thing. And aye, it's great, isn't it? The words, the whole thing. It's and it's a Fitbit sounding song, so it ticks a lot of boxes. Will you fight to drill in the North Sea? 110% clear, right? Because it's an industry. I worked up in Aberdeen back in 2002. Was it? I think it was about 2002. And what a lovely place. I almost moved up there. I mean, I go up now and I can see the difference in 20 years because they're running out of their oil money. It's just devastating. It's still a nice city, but it was a lot nicer back then. And I know through talking to people that it's going to have a knock-on effect to loads of things. Grangemouth breaks my heart. I know Grangemouth could have been saved. There's a thing called no, not I keep forgetting. No, I keep saying Aqua Blaster, but that's not what it is. It'll come back to me. There's a thing in Grangemouth. I can never get this word. It's no. I always say Aqua Blaster, and it's no that. Something hydro cracker. See, it's kind of similar. Hydro cracker. And what it does, it can produce very high quality aviation fuel, which is A, efficient, and B, quite clean, right? And it can make it. But there was a bit of dubiety over them opening it or not and saying it was dangerous and it had a fault and all that. And there's some people believe it was just a bullshit cover up because it would have gave the owners less excuse to get get out the place, right? But if it was able to work, that could have been totally revitalised that whole plant. So if that's achievable, then I don't know if we go and we try and find somebody like an Elon Musk to invest loads of money in it and I don't know, do rocket fuel or something like that, whatever, right? Or is it something that we, the people of Scotland, could like invest in and regenerate that whole area and just drill, baby, drill, get that sorted. And you know what? See if that didn't even make an impact on our bills because a lot of the stuff with bills, it's predetermined costs. When John Swinney says, if you get me in power again, I'm going to reduce your bills. But the majority of the cost of a bill is predetermined with international prices of oil. So I kind of don't know how that bollocks works. Anyway, so what you will definitely do though is you'll keep areas open. I mean, I think he's watched the video I put out the other day talking about, telling folk who I am if they want to vote for me. I was born in Linwood. I was there when the car plant shut. I've seen the devastation in communities. when the biggest, if not the only, in that case, for a lot of people, was the only employer in the area. And it's families are distraught. There was a shopping centre in Linwood that they've since knocked down and built a big Tesco. But when that was built, it was built as the plant was getting run down. There was units in this big, lovely shopping centre that were never opened the whole time that this shop. And when they knocked it down, there was units there that had never been inhabited. That's how much devastation it can cause communities. And it's not just the people that work there, it's the businesses, the news agents, the coffee shops, the taxi driver. Because if people are going to go into their work and eat their sandwiches or got money, the whole thing's just shite. So would I fight for drill in the North Oil? 110%. Right, any more questions? Where are we? There's loads and loads of comments. How's Kev doing? Has he helped me? No, he's ditched me. Right. He's on his way back to the house. I think he's going to. Let me just see. He might have texted me while we've been talking. So let me just check. He has. Where is he? No belong. Just hitting. I need to buzz that because that's the tune he lives in. He's just hitting. No. So that was half an hour ago. Where are you, you wee shite? So you will be back. Question. If you get in, what would be your first question to the First Minister? Example, John Swinney. If he wins, well, it depends what he's talking about. Would depend what questions I could ask him. But I'll certainly be getting him all tell that you're here to serve the Scottish people, right? I don't want to be called an MSP, although you kind of need that. But I don't want to be known as a politician. I want to be known as a civil servant. And I would suggest you consider the same, because that's what you're here for. Now, what I'm going to do for the next 5 years is keep you on your toes. I'll be checking everybody's expenses. I'll be watching what everybody says. I'll be analysing any shite that he's come up with, right? And I'll be adding to debates. I'll be putting bills forward for purpose of negotiating. I'll be getting into every committee room that you have to, see what's going on in there. And every day, once I'm finished, guess what I'll be doing? Go up to my wee desk, sit and look at my camera, and tell the good people of Scotland the shite that's been on in there the day. That's what I'll be doing. Claire, I remember you. That's the same big rab. Would I do a charity boxing match with Tam Kerr? No. No, I wouldn't. The reason being I don't take liberties, right? And listen, I'm 53, I've got a bad back and all that, but I still wouldn't take liberties. That would be, well, unless I maybe put one hand behind my back. He's got some footwork, to be fair. Did you see his moves? Big Craig. He was quite good. Right, another question. Here we go. If you get into Hollywood, do you think it will change you? We saw Kev change. Right. Well, if it changed Kev, I don't know. Anyway, I would hope no. Right? I can say it'll no change me, right? But the proof's in the pudding. But I think I've got enough about me morally that I would kind of keep myself in check. But I've got enough people close to me around about me that if I started getting up my own arse, they would soon tell me. And I keep saying to folk as well, they'll all be after you if you get into Hollywood, and they'll all be going through your expenses and all that. And I'm like, great. Everybody should get held to account in there. I can't go up there and hold everybody to account and not expect people to hold me to account, right? So if I go in there 6 months, a year down the line, and think I'm Johnny Big Cigars, give me a wee shout. Just give me a wee tap on the shoulder. I'd love to see you do a live with Paul Thorpe and Richard Inman. Aye, why not? Where are we? I think I got to the end of the questions. So that's all right. If anybody else, there's. Thanks very much for that, Best Black. Now, as I say, what I've got is big up for NI. Yeah, thank you very much. What I do, see with that and any money that comes through, like memberships and stuff on YouTube, I think it's a couple £100 a month come on through that. I put it in, buy equipment, and I bought 3 laptops, lights, cameras, this lovely wee new thing that cost me about £300. Just over maybe about 350. You can get them a lot cheaper, but you need to put like an iPhone or something on these auto cues. This one's got there's a monitor. It's got its own monitor. It's all one unit, and it's fantastic. So I'm looking now at me, I don't do scripted stuff, but when I'm doing recordings now, if I want to put some notes, put them up there. It means I'm looking at the camera. And also, when I'm doing like reading stuff out of newspaper articles, I'm not doing this. I'll have the newspaper up there. So, it'll be handy. And that's what this money goes to, Bess. And if anybody wants to help, in fact, I'll put that up actually. Anybody wants to support the campaign, because I've got some news with that as well, crowdfunder. I've raised, I thought it was more than that, £1,557. Now, out of that, I've already spent about 800 quid. So I've got about 700 spare. But I've got the option of getting Royal Mail to deliver to every household in Glasgow, and I'm waiting for a quote back for that because it's 300,000 leaflets. That'll be about £3,000, right? But what a difference that'll make to the campaign. So they got me a price for 100,000, which was about £1,000. And then to get 3 times that, it'll no be £3,000. I reckon it'll be about 2.5 roughly. So if I can get, that would be 2.5. But if I can get this fundraiser up to about 332, I can get every single house in Glasgow a big Hoosty leaflet. And I've got people out putting, I'm trying my best with my bad bag as well to go out every day and put leaflets out, and that's great. People can get two. And when you're doing them at the doors, you can talk to people as well. So getting them splattered would be great. And I'll just put the link in there. So if anybody does want to help with the campaign fundraiser, you've got the link in the description there. So where did we get to? I've lost my way a wee bit with the... Where did we get to? I got that one. That was that one. Is that Stevie? I think. Oh, we've got the ball right. Let me see any more questions. Whatever. I'm happy. What time is it now? It's nearly 9 now and I've not had my dinner, but I'll talk to anybody. Looking for Thomas. You seen him? Pity I can't add the video here. Well, I could put it on. I could play the video through here. Give me a wee 2-minute break. Give me a wee second. Question. I'll finish these questions actually then, so I can take a wee comfort break. That's like posh for saying I need a pee, right? I'll stick that video up so I can go and do that, get myself a wee drink of water and that, and I'll come back. So let me finish the questions, put up the Thomas video. It'll be on for about 5 minutes, and I'll come back, right? So give me a wee second. Lord Houston of Linwood has a ring to it. Certainly has, isn't it? That would be nice. I don't think I'd be getting any honours list for anybody going forward. Do you need help with flyers? Free most nights and Sundays. Wherever you are, just if you're on Twitter, send me a wee DM if you don't mind, and we can catch up. That's great help. What do you mean? Wait a minute. I'm going to have Paul on TV and Craig on a laptop. No. Big Hoosty or nothing. Scotty of John, right? We're not having this carry on. Yes, I have considered doing a public stunt, and it's not a flash mob. And if I do this, you'll be like, I can't believe you've done that. I have got an opportunity. Scott Lassie saying Tommy's supposed to be meeting up with the big man, President Trump. So I hear he's been meeting a lot of people over there. I've been speaking to Tommy for quite a bit of time, a couple of years actually, but quite a lot while he's been in America, and he's smashing it. He's absolutely smashing it. What's this? Vote Hoosty merch? No, I don't know about that. I might look into that. Just having time to do it, mate. That would be quite difficult for me. What is the opportunity for a public stunt? Well, if I kind of told you that, it would kind of kill it, right? Somebody's came to me and said they would be prepared to do something for me, and it's just to balance it up. If it A is achievable, and B, if it would certainly be enjoyable. But if I do it, it will be like around about the 5th or 6th of May, so it'll be a day or two before the what do you call it, the election. Right, so Bert, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a video to stick on for a couple of minutes while I just go and have a comfort break, and I'll see if I can get a hold of Big Kev. I'll probably give him the wrong link and he'll be running about daft. So what do we want? We want a channel. Let's flick this up here again. Right, and where are we? Too weak for that. Shit. Oh dear me, don't do that. Right, that's it. Right, so that's my channel. And right, I'm going to ask you a question, right? If you want to see the video where I went to, it was a piss take, by the way. Thomas Kerr was in Aberdeen. I knew he was in Aberdeen before he even went to Shettleston. It was having a laugh, right? And I went there. I was going to get there anyway, put some leaflets out. So I was going to Shettleston, and I thought we'll have a laugh. We'll tell where's Thomas, seeing as he blocked me on social media and he refused to come on the podcast for a wee debate, right? So it was humour, right? There was no malice in it. So there is the Thomas Kerr video where I go there and I go, where's Thomas, right? And I'm walking about Shettleston. That's quite funny. You can have that. Hit 1 if you want that, or hit 2 if you want the Big Craig song. And I'll play either of them for a couple of minutes while I nick to the P. So, 1 for the Thomas Kerr, where's Thomas when I'm in Shettleston video, and 2 for the Big Craig song. And you need to go now. Smash 2. That's right. I'm going to. Right, oh, it's 1 each now. Keep them coming. 1, oh, 2, 2. It's 2, 3. 1 is the result. We're going 3 for the Craig video. Sorry, Craig song. It's all gone Craig song. Jenny's the only one that wants to see the Thomas thing. So I kind of think you're loud. Or right wing, I think he's got that in the loop and he's motor, the maniac. Really embarrassed my stepson last night. I was picking him up for Edinburgh Airport. It was a football trip. And I was playing it in the way back in the car just to totally bam him up, which was good fun because you like embarrassing teenagers. It's kind of what adults could do. And when they're only your stepkids, it's even more allowable because like you're not really that responsible for them, are you? Right, so I need to go there. Bear with me here. Videos. And what are videos? No, I want. How can I know what my way of videos? And latest, where are we? There we go. So if I do that, get the adverts finished. And share screen. On May the 7th, for the first time in the generation, we have a chance for change. What's that? Look. Fix the mess. Get the basics right. The advert before my songs. A better future for Scotland. Get off my telly. In steps Big Craig and he's calling it out. No polish, no party clouds, just the Glasgow. Craig rattle in the cage, bringing real hope to a tired old stage. No perfect, no polish, but honest enough. Second vote, Houston, enough. From the streets to the screens, he's speaking. Put it out for the people again and again. On YouTube, on X, they're hearing his voice. Thousands watching, making their choice. They say glass split, the folk prove wrong. Put the colors aside and came along. Big Craig, rattle in the cage. Bringing real hope to a tired old stage. No perfect, no polish, but honest enough. Second vote, Houston, enough's enough. Big Craig, rattle in the cage. Bringing real hope to a tired stage. No perfect, no polish, but honest enough. Second vote, Houston, enough's enough. 7 seats and it's their take. Only lost if the people hesitate. First vote's yours, but the second's key. That's where change can actually be. We're back in the room. That was alright, wasn't it? Anyway,
Today,
where are we? Back.
I'm going
You're spot on with
to expose the truth about
Come on. YouTube playing in the back. You're spot on with support. I was talking to my wee mate today, who's a season ticket holder in Parkhead, and he's voting for you. Okay, this is nuts, right? Because Big Kev, right, best supporter I've had over the 2 years, right? We've been running up and down the length of the country together, going to protests, and became good pals. And mad Celtic man, right? Stevie for Peterhead, mad Celtic fan, right? So I kind of knew that not every Celtic fan would hate me, right? And I thought I'll get some support, but it just blown my head away. I mean, I'm not like trying to pacify folk. I'm being me. I'm saying, you know what? I'm a unionist. I'm a Rangers fan. Get on with it, right? If you want to make decisions and politics based on those two things, then you'll no vote for me. But if you understand that I've been all over Europe chasing migrants to learn the scam, right? I've been up and down the country protesting. I've been out in Northern Ireland trying to give Ballymena a voice when they were getting shafted. I'm active. I'm trying to make a difference, even if it wasn't for the election. And you think, you know what, you're quite a good guy. Share those to me. And it's just the volume, right? It's just nuts. I was up with Big Rab. I was up at Brigton Cross. I went to Clydeside, Partick Cross, Brigton Cross with a sort of big hoosty banner just to get some photos, right? And we're in the car, and we'd been in the car a few minutes, and Rab was sending me the photo, and I was putting a post on for Twitter with the photo he took. And this car stopped beside me. The guy put his window down. He's like, right, Craig, he went, just to let you know, I don't support the same football team as you. I'm voting for you. You're the man, right? And I was like, mate, see the fact that you've stopped to talk to me and tell me that, it's just mental. And you think how people don't see and can't, when they come up and talk to you, that are actually doing the same, right? So what the number is, I don't know. But I know it's loads, right? And I was like, so what's weird, I was sort of gobsmacked, and he went away. But later on that night, he sent me a message on Twitter, and he went, Craig, just to let you know, I'm the boy that spoke to you at Brigton Cross today. And then the next day, I was wanting to know something about, just like, how does this work, right? What's going on in the world? So I sent him my phone number, mate. Go phone me, mate. Phoned me, a great good chat. And I was like, why is this happening? And he's like, folk are seeing past it, Craig, we're sick of it. But I don't even ask him his opinions. And I think he voted Indy back in the referendum, but I don't know what his thoughts are today. And I don't care, because we've not got a referendum. See, if we've got a referendum, I'll be on the side of no thanks, right? That's a given, right? But we're not doing that now. So all the other stuff, he's like, again, you're just like making sense. Like, you're saying, well, you're figuring out the concerns that we've got, and that's the way it should be. Do you know what I mean? But the other political parties, I think, they don't see it that way. They try to pander to other people so they come away from their core. And one of them said to me, a reform guy today, and I was like, he's like, look, we need to come away from our core to try and get in. We can't get in with just our core support. I was like, yeah, but as you waver away from where you should be, you're going to lose some of your core support. And especially with Restore coming about, Restore are on the up. Reform's kind of dwindling a wee bit. And, it's easy for your core support now to go, cheery bye now. And one of the biggest, worst things they've done, I mean, there's a unionist in Scotland, they pissed up our leg 2 years ago to general election by putting nationalists up as candidates. That's just bonkers, right? But even like since then, Tice going on TV and going like that Tommy Robinson, no interested. This was after one of the biggest marches in the UK ever. And he's on TV, got asked about it, and he went, nah, no interested, don't want that lot. And you're like, and that's what I said to the guy is, I've been at Tommy Robinson's rallies. Right? I support the guy. I agree with everything that Tommy says. No, I don't. Right? But, my God, what? Right? If you don't want to support him, don't support him. I do. But what Reform told us months ago was, if you're that lot, we don't want you. Okay. Well, why are you asking for my vote this time? Because you're going away from it. That should be your core support. Right? There was 1 million people in the street in London when I was there. Right? That should be your core support. But you want to try and, maybe a wee bit, he's maybe a wee bit too like militant for us, so we'll shy away from him and just tell folks support him, we don't want you. 6 months later, we've got a Scottish election, and it's everybody that's a unionist must vote for Reform. Why? You told me 6 months ago you didn't want any Davies. Do you know what I mean? I was there, I was at that rally, I've supported him, I've shared loads of things that he's put out, I talked to him quite a lot on the phone and all that, right? We're no best for just guys that are trying to fight in the same direction. But he's a good guy. But because of that, Reform tell me, we don't want that lot. That's fine. Why are you asking me for my vote then? Why have you got supporters of your group telling me I'm a bad person for trying to put myself up for election? You're going to split the vote. You're going to cost us seats. I'm sitting in one region. And as a single guy, if I can get the cord with the public enough to get me into that place, which is very achievable, right? Then, if that can derail your organisation, that doesn't sit on me, that sits on you. You're the guys with millions of pounds behind you. You're the guys that you're telling us has got hundreds of thousands of members. So if me and a keyboard and Big Hoostie's army can derail what you're doing, it's not my fault. It's your fault. And if folk want to give Reform their first vote and give me your second vote, I'm delighted with that. I kind of don't care who's up in that building with them because I'll judge them all the same. Do you know what I mean? But I prefer a Reform guy, to be perfectly honest with you, than an SNP guy. But because they're no close enough to them in Royal Scotland, that ain't my fault. Don't put that on me. Anyway, what we got here? I've got my friend voting you too. Well done, Angela Fate Alba. Stream is awful. Hopefully it's a wee bit better now that I've turned the YouTube back off, buddy. Love Craig Houston's song, next week's #1. Let's do that. Claire loves the song. Oh no, show message. Right, got a question here. That's what it's all about. Questions. Get the questions in. If you could pick any seat in the First Minister, right behind him, right? And remember, it must have been last year, there was a day that Ross Greer walked in and he sat with all the SNP ones and some folk on social media going, what are you doing? And he was like, it's no school. I'll sit where I want. You don't have designated seats. Right, watch this space, right? Get me in there, right? I'll maybe not do it the first day, but I will do it one day when it's First Minister's questions, and I'll go in 20 minutes before everybody else, you know, my sandwich and a flask, and just sit there, the row behind them, sit there, smile, everybody come in. Hiya, how you doing? Right? You'd have a ring of seats with none of them. That's not your seat, is it? It's not got a name on it, right? So aye, but who would I sit next to? Well, I'm a unionist, so you've kind of got, and I'm right of centre, so who's right of centre? And unionists, well, that's the Tories and Reform. So if they were sitting in a wee section, I'd probably be more comfortable up there, but depending who gets in for Reform, I don't think Thomas Kerr would want to share a bench with me, right? But aye, I'll sit anywhere, don't care. But my natural place would be sitting next to you guys, right? There's another one. Angela Faye Alba. I'm a Tim, and I'm voting Big Hoostie. Kev on his way. Wonder if that's the Lady K that we know for Old Reekie. And if it is, how do you know? Was he with you? In fact, I think the link that I sent him might be wrong. So, let me just get this. Invite guest. Get me onto copy that onto the WhatsApp. And what's going on here? Bear with me. We'll go Kev. Right, that's going to get a new. It's the same link. And if Stevie Rennie's still in the building, Steve, I'm going to send you the link. Going to test it for me, because you said that the link I sent you before didn't work. It looks like the same link twice, but if you could maybe check that would be fantabulous. So back to the questions. But Angela, I don't know what's going on, right? It's crackers in it. But I don't. Proverbs, you're the one that starts this carry on with the football. You always come in and have pops about the football. We're past that, mate. But, and I said to that boy that I met in Kilmarnock when he was on the phone the other day, he's like, oh, nice to talk to you and that. Phone me anytime, mate. I mean, see the old firm game in 2 or 3 weeks, don't come near me, right? Because I'll be like either want to slaughter you or not be able to handle you slaughtering me. That's kind of the way it is, right? What's this person saying? Too many people vote for what is best personally for them or through bias instead of thinking where you want you and your kids to be in 10, 20, 30 years' time. That's a good point. That's mental. I'm not even reading that out, right? That's blasphemy. The right proper football is the least of our worries, and right now there's no a referendum, so whether you're a unionist or a nationalist, unless you're a crackpot nationalist, no the ones that wake up in the morning and all they talk about is Indy, unless you're them, you kind of get other stuff that's more important to you right now, so it doesn't matter. But here's a thought. Say they were talking about some bill to talk about gender nonsense in schools. Have a look at who's on your list to vote for and tell me what person you would prefer in there when they start all that shite again. Right? You want some career politician or me? Because I don't care. I genuinely don't care what people think about me. Somebody says to me, when you go in there could be 129 people hate you. I'm like, yeah, and what? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing I love about Rupert Lowe, especially on his Twitter account. It's like, I don't care. Folk will say, oh, that's terrible. You're wanting to hang me allow that. We'll need to ban, what do you call it? The kosher. He's like, yeah, unfortunate, isn't it? And that's kind of unfortunate, as unfortunate, but it's where we are now. To fix the big problems, we need to make some harsh decisions. And there will be some people pissed off along the way if we're going to fix, particularly the United Kingdom. You know, people say, oh, we need to deport them, we need to deport them, we need to deport them. Funks, but I bought, that's what I'll say, I bought. What about the wee guy that I know? He's a good guy. You're like, well, it's about him. It's about, can we do, like, all we've done for 20 years is went, bought. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it, Claire. This is just the start, buddy. If we can pull this off, it'll be mad. I agree with you on being about more than colours. My neighbours Ross and Rab are a gay couple who support Celtic and they're voting for you to get change. Go on to Ross and Rab. Apparently, right, there's a Celtic supporter who's been telling the world for 13 years I'm homophobic, right? And I've got a pal on Spaces, the cracking guy, Big Gavin, right? It's gay. Don't think he's Edinburgh. It's certainly sort of between Livingston and Edinburgh, I think he lives. I've never met him, but I will. He's a cracking big guy, right? And it came up again. Like, this crackpot's convinced I put out a tweet when Scotty Allen signed for Celtic and knocked back Rangers, right? Called him a gay something, some words suggesting he was gay, and this was a homosexual tweet. And I'm like, well, have you got a screenshot of that, or even like a link? There's an article that was written about it by some stupid website 13 years ago. And it's funny because you open up that website and the article and it tells you that I've done this, that, and the next thing. But guess what? They've not got a screenshot or a link to the bloody tweet that I meant to put out 13 years ago. You're like, call me daft, right? But I kind of think you're maybe talking shite. Because if I was writing an article about somebody with a tweet that they'd put out yesterday, I would have a screenshot of the tweet to put in my article, right? They're mental. So you tell Ross and Rab, please, thank you very much, right? And don't believe the shite, I'm apparently homophobic. But also tell Ross and Rab, I hope they're celebrating that weekend, me getting into Hollywood, and maybe no celebrating Celtic getting beat. And we'll all just have fun together, because that's all it should be. And I've seen that a lot as well, Angela. People did support Indy and they're not now. That lot makes sure the majority that can swing an electing dice was straight wrong there. Scotty, I'm with you on that. I was getting called the Tommy Robinson supporter by the left for 4 years before I knew who he was. That's how mad it is, isn't it? It's just bonkers that's kind of how people are, isn't it? It is pretty mental, that. Where are we? See, Frobabs, I can't figure you out. You want me to be the Prime Minister now? So I have to go from being an MSP to being the First Minister to be the Prime Minister? A bit. Do you think the 16th of May will be a pivotal point in British politics? I think last year's Million March was pivotal, because that gave the establishment a right fright. And they did soften a few things since then, right? So and I just think we just need to keep momentum going. And I told Tommy, Tommy, see if things go right, of your first ever MSP stunning in that crowd supporting you at a rally, because I'll be there, regardless if I get voted in or not, because I think it's important. Big Denzel's in the room. Hold on. Are you having a fag here? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a drum roll going? Welcome to the stage, the one, they only give their answer, by God, has he changed? Because now he's putting his big face on cameras because he's no shy, because he's now not only a BAFTA winning or BAFTA nominated for his
Oh, no,
BBC
we're not going to
appearance,
start
right?
that.
He's also doing what I've been saying to him today for ages, getting up on a stage and smashing it at what do you call them, at rallies and stuff. So Kev, first thing, now that you're doing these rallies and things, do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it. I've not been enjoying it in recent times.
No, I'm not.
Just
I know we'll talk about that in a minute, right? The actual
right.
thing with what do you call it, the rallies themselves. I know you've not been enjoying them, but are you enjoying you participating more than just a spectator and a supporter, but you're actually getting up and smashing it, to be perfectly honest with you, with your speeches?
I don't know if I'm smashing it. I just get up and say what I've got to
Well,
say.
just right, stop being shy. Let me just tell you, you're smashing it, and I'll tell you why in a
I
minute. But are you
appreciate that.
enjoying actually doing that and getting up there?
I mean, look, I'm most probably only saying what other people want to say. I mean, that's some echo.
I'll fix that. If I put this in, because what's happening is you're coming out my speaker and getting into my microphone.
Oh, is that what
And
it
as they
is?
say, aye, so if I do that, talk something, Kev.
Right, you there, aye? Aye, that's better.
Still not working on it. It's not actually, because I've not got the thing working yet. Hold on. Audio. Speaker, there we go. So I change that to that. I'm shite. I need to get somebody to do this for me because I'm not very clever at all this stuff. But it costs me too much money. So, aye, Kev, are you enjoying getting up and doing the
Aye. I quite enjoy it, aye. It's good if the crowd's responsive.
keep talking? I'm still picking up your piece.
Aye, it's still doing it, eh?
Aye, shite. It's like that ready before you come in. For some reason, it ain't picking up the fact that I've got. Where's my kit bag? It's not picking up the fact that I've got an earpiece in, which is a bit weird. I think there might be a setting here that I can use. Settings, audio. Can try that. Is that better?
Let's try, yeah.
Talk.
There we go.
Better?
Aye,
Is
I
that
can't
better?
hear it. Aye, there's no echo now. Aye, that's better. There we go. Aye, so aye. I mean, I quite enjoy it. You get a wee bit. You get a chance to give the fucking left a bit of abuse at the same time too, which is usually quite funny. But aye, but it is what it is. I'm not doing. I'm only doing what other people have been doing for a while now. So no harm in just putting your voice out there and giving your opinions and then just speaking for what many people might not want to talk. Do you know what I mean? So let's do it.
So, see when you've done your first one, I didn't see your first one. Did you do it with a script and read off your phone?
Aye, that was the first one I done was up at Aberdeen when you were away on holiday. Because John Swinney planned the SNP conference when you were out the country. So
Elaborate that,
aye. So obviously you asked me to speak on your behalf, so I did. And then I took to the mic at Inverness, Braintree, and and obviously doing it at Epping when we were doing it. You and I went down to Epping after that day in Falkirk. And I've spoke a few times to these rallies now. You know what I mean? If it's well received, it's well received. I mean, if you're saying I'm smashing it, I'll take that.
No, yeah, mate.
But
And when when you see in a video, it's kind of hard to tell. But I thought you've done all right. I thought you didn't look nervous. You just went up and done it. But when we were in Braintree and you went up, I was like, you think you've been doing this for years? Do you know what I mean? And you're doing it without the script now, because I think I done the first couple with a script and it looks all right, but it's better if you just put your phone in your pocket and just go up with a list of 3 or 4 things when you read that you wanted to talk about. If you can remember the 3 or 4 things, key points, you'll just get a 5-minute speech out of that. And I thought Braintree, you were smashed it. You were better than some people who made it a lot longer. And even those, like Basil and stuff, had seen it. And it's like, by the way, how good are public speakers, Big Kev coming? And you just do what you do in the spaces. You just had to be a bit of passion and just smash it. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't feel comfortable with the one, obviously the first one, because obviously, as you say, it was reading off a script. But I mean, I done it because obviously it was on your behalf. You know what I mean? But after that, I've never put
what I was
that
wanting
script.
to say.
So I mean, it's. But I mean, the one, the first one when I went down to Braintree and Tommy was there. I mean, I got up and I was a bit. I think I was a bit of a rambler that day. But when I stood up in that wee kind of monument to speak, see when I looked out and I seen the amount of people that were standing there, I thought, "What the fuck am I doing standing up here?" Do you know what I mean? But just went for it, and it was quite well received by the crowd. I looked at the crowd when I came down, were like, "Oh, well done," and cheers for coming down, and what have you. And then obviously we went down the second time with yourself. And again, we just went for it and I wasn't actually planning on speaking that day. But Shelley, Free Speech Shell, had said, we've got Kevin. And I was like, shit, no, I've not got anything prepared. So the first time the first time when I went down, I kind of had it in my head what I was going to talk about. Do you know what I mean? But then that time there, that was right off the hoof. I didn't have a clue. But I had no intentions of speaking that day because I thought, well, yourself and Mr. Buckfast will do the Scottish talking.
So Derek saying, Craig, your hat says let Scotland work. I rephrase that to let Britain work. His thing is Scotland is British, 100%, mate. I'm a unionist. The truth is, if I was standing in a Glasgow council election, I'd say that I would say let Glasgow work. I'm standing in the Scottish election, so I can't affect a lot of things if I get in there. I'll know how I'm right. Saying 3 years I was standing as an MP, that would say let Britain work, right? So that's the reason behind it. And I tell you what does happen though. When I go out, I sometimes stick this on because you'll see I've got my microphone here. So when I'm out videoing myself in the street, I sometimes put this on so I can ping it's a different mic I've got. It's a smaller one for my outdoor camera. And I just put it in my hat and it's really handy. But I get a lot of people that look and going, I thought that boy was a unionist. He's got a Let Scotland Work hat. So I understand some people get a bit of a double take, but that was the logic behind it. I got this made about 6 months ago, I think. Because I took it on holiday. And I was just thinking of a phrase that kind of fitted it, because it means a lot of things. Let Scotland work. That means, like, can we have a parliament that works? Because that ain't worked for 19 years. Let Scotland work because we don't have any industry. We just don't. We need that. So we need to have industry and we need to let Scottish people work. We need to have everything working because nothing's working now. So, it's a multi-meaning thing I just came up with about 6 months ago. And if I don't think I'll stand for election as a councillor if I didn't get into Holyrood. But if I was, I would have let Glasgow work. And if I was standing as for an MP, which again I don't think I'll do in 3 years' time, I would have let Britain work then, because that's, you're going down to Westminster. So that's the reason behind it, mate. But certainly it's not to do with being a nationalist. That's a big ask. So, any questions? Going to have a wee. There you go. Claire's saying, Kev, you smash it. Only saw you once, but you definitely done great.
Cheers for that.
There's another one. Voted independence back in 2014. I turned my back on the SNP during lockdown, and since then, we've gone from bad to worse. Side control, I'm hearing this loads, right? And when you say to people, what was the one thing they just went, oh, that's it, finished, right? A lot of people, especially that boy I was talking to in Brigton the other day when we spoke on the phone later on, he went, it was a gender thing. That was the kind of nail in the coffin. He went, it was hundreds of things up to him. And I'm thinking, oh, these folk are cranks. But that seems to have been a big, massive boo-boo for them and lost them a lot of support.
See the
What we
thing
got
is
here,
with that
Julie,
one.
Craig, I find you a genuine.
So that one with the SNP, I mean, see, like that person that said that there, and obviously you know that I was SNP daft as well. And see if you ever see, because you're turned your back in the SNP. See if you say to anybody, "Oh, I was an SNP supporter." Like, no, you weren't. You were never. Like, sit down and pipe down. Honestly, man.
That's the same online, but when folks say I'm a Celtic supporter and I'm supporting Craig, they're like, you're never a Celtic supporter, a real Celtic supporter when you support Craig. You're like, no, you're a
I know.
banger, mate. You're not a real Celtic supporter. You're a half-wit. Sit down. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, you were never a nationalist, you were never. Fine. They just don't want to accept that, they're not the norm.
That's no. I mean, it was like when that.
Right, what is, I don't know what that's.
That echoes back again.
Carry on.
That Edinburgh rally. Obviously, when I spoke at that one, and a few folk had put the videos up with me talking at that, and obviously in that one, I mentioned that I had been an SNP supporter for 30 years and voted for independence 2014. And you want to see some of the trolls. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just laugh at these people. It's like, my God, you're not allowed to change your opinion, no? No, it's ridiculous getting.
Mm-hmm.
I just want my country to look something like what I was growing up in. But right now, it's been overrun. It's been overtaken. The SNP are just frauds. I mean, you look at the
Try to get a
candidates.
earphone. I can hear you, so just keep talking.
You see some of the candidates that they're rolling out, man. And I'm sorry, but no foreigner should have any influence on our parliament. I mean, like that Savan Kadir, who broke out of Kurdistan, and broke into our country illegally. He's now advocating for an independent Scotland, and I had a go at him the other night about it, and he turned around and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he went, the Scottish people, it was to do with independence, but Scottish people want independence because they're brave, unlike cowards like you. And I'm like, listen to you clown. You broke out a country to break into another country, seeking protection from that country. Who's the coward now? I'm not leaving my country. I'm standing on the streets every week trying to get people to see what the SNP are all about. And then this reform mob. Oh, I mean, it just. I'm lost for words. I mean, there's one of their candidates today. Was that seen at a pro Palio march singing for the river to the sea?
Stop it.
Seriously, mate, aye.
You need to send me your copy of that, mate.
I think somebody had it on X. Somebody was telling me, seen it on X. One of their candidates, he's been pulled in because he'd been seen at a pro Palio march singing for the river to the sea. So, I mean, look, I know people are looking at reform, and it's you're kind of only half decent option you've got, but when 2029 comes around, they're going to all need to have somebody really worthwhile to get behind. Either that, we're done for. But I've been informed that Rupert Lowe has announced that he's going to have candidates running for the council elections in 2027 in Scotland.
Yeah. And funnily on that, users asked, why wouldn't you stand in a council election? Well, two reasons. One, hopefully I'll be an MSP, so you can do both. And two, I got arrested for a video I done about a Glasgow councillor. Can you imagine me going in there? I couldn't handle it. Do you know what I mean? I would just no. See, the thing about the councillors, right? They actually think they are something. They actually think they're at Westminster. They genuinely, I mean, they're like, going to make sure the bins are cleaned, right? But I couldn't sit in a room with them. I genuinely couldn't. And I know some good people that are wanting to stand for election next year, and I'll support them. And they'd be better than me because they'll not get arrested. I couldn't sit in that room with these people. They're cranks. They genuinely think there's some mad, powerful job, and no. Can you just make sure the schools are running and empty the bins? That's kind of that. But they're mental.
But I mean, it's a bit of letdown now. But I've been quite, as you know, I've been because I talked to you away from in private and things. But I was getting really disheartened with these protests because we were rolling up into them and 10 people were turning up, and you were facing about 200 of that mob. And then the Edinburgh one, 30 people turned up, and you had obviously the pro-independence march. Now, I can remember back in 2014 when we lost the vote and we done an Indy 2 march. There was, I would say, tens of thousands of people were at these things. But that's the last two pro-independence marches I've seen in Edinburgh, and I would say you were hard pushed to get 2,000. So as much as these people think that they've got the appetite or they would get the independent vote, they're not going to get it, because there's people like me and that other person there that was yes voters would be absolutely no voters now. I would never want away from the union. That 55% saved this country, and I'll say that out loud now. If it wasn't for the 55 that voted no, Scotland would be in an absolute mess right now. I think we would be worse than the Republic of Ireland. So well done, the 55%. I had the foresight to see
Angela's saying don't know the candidates running in Annie's stuff.
Was that?
Aye. Angela's saying she doesn't even know the candidates running in her area, which is Annie's land, Knightswood. I wish we could have debates between candidates. I was up in Knightswood last Monday or Tuesday. Maybe Alec. He was with our neck of the woods, so was I. And we met I went up to do the school run up at Knightswood High. I went back down to Knightswood shops, him for a coffee in the Greg's, and had a lamp for the folk outside making some videos. So, but I don't. All you need to know, Angela, is I'm in your second paper. That's it. And I might even just put my first paper in the bin, because you're like, who deserves the vote? It's a good shout. It's not a Scottish election, too much foreign election interference.
Yep, I agree with that. I mean, I can't believe that Savan Kadir had
a shout to Angela saying Russell Finlay. I think Russell Finlay and Dougie Ross, is it Dougie Ross, the referee guy? See, the last few months of that Parliament, they were really smashing it. They were doing, and they might have been smashing it for 5 years. I just hadn't noticed, but I kind of think they were doing well. But Tories bend themselves. And that's kind of unfortunate, because I genuinely believe they are the only, although they even dropped the name unionist, they're the actually only unionist party. The rest of them don't know what they are.
Aye. Well, you've got Reform, David Kirkwood. Do you know what I mean? Absolute belter of a pro-independence supporter. And if he wants to say that that's lies, I've got an email directly from him that he said that. You know what I mean? In 2039, and you know why they say 2039? Because the generation of the 55 that said no wouldn't be around by then. So the chances are that they'll have indoctrinated a population of New Scots, as they want to call them. I mean, see that term, New Scots. See if that doesn't bother you as a Scottish person and as a British person. There's something wrong with you. There's no such thing as a New Scot. You're born into Scotland. But it's in your blood. Do you know what I mean? It's in your heart and your soul. You don't adopt being Scottish. It's ridiculous. It absolutely pisses me off when I see John Swinney going on about these New Scots. Fuck off. Sorry, I know shouldn't be swearing on your YouTube, but just bolt. Seriously, bolt. It's disgusting.
Well, there's Regis Saga asking, why don't I stand for Restore Britain? Well, that's dead simple. Restore Britain don't have any candidates running this election, so even if I was a member of them, I couldn't stand for them. But what I will say, and I said earlier on, is the support I'm getting for the Restore Britain branches up here is nothing short of incredible. And one of the ones that's really gone for it is their Dundee and their Aberdeen branches. They're like, in the Glasgow branch, I know a couple of people that are helping in that, and they're good people. And they're saying, your politics are so similar to ours that we kind of are telling our members to vote for you. So that's happening, but it wasn't an option. So it wasn't because I don't like them. It's just they're not having candidates because it's too early for them. So I don't know what that's referring to, because it was 3 minutes ago. You're right, Craig, but I'm always right. I'm not actually. I can be wrong sometimes, and you need to accept that. If I get in there, I might make a mistake or two in 5 years, right? And there might be something that you don't like, right? Let's say we had the XL Bully Dug vote, right? Just something stupid that you wouldn't expect a politician to be voting on. I just need to make a judgment call. What do I think the majority of people want me to do here? And I'll do it. And some people they might go, oh, he voted wrong in that XL Bully Dug thing. He's a shite. I hate Craig Houston, right? He's changed all that. It isn't. I'm just a human being, right? So,
You've changed.
You know what I mean? Just, I'll do he's no my, if you need to ask me what my core beliefs are, you've not been watching my videos, right? So you know what you're getting with all the big ticket things, right? But it's the wee daft things that nobody could even think about that come up that you just, do you know what I mean? But I'll not be voting for gender recognition, that's for sure. And I'll not be voting for doing stupid things in our schools. And I will be voting to get the oil industry back, right? We need that. We need industry. I'm a very big supporter of industry. And I really like entrepreneurs. I really want to make a difference, maybe help set up things for kids that have got a wee bit of entrepreneurialism in school, but they might not be the best at French or German or accounting, right? And support these people. We need these people. We need to figure out what skill shortages we've got that we need to keep going and importing people when we've got people in our own country that haven't worked. 25% of our young people have never and will never contribute to the national purse. That's frightening. We need to energise these kids. We need to find out if it's train drivers were shorter. Let's go into the high schools. Let's take somebody for the industry in and show them that train drivers can make 70 grand a year. And folk go, oh, that's quite good. Guess what? See, 4 years' time, we don't have a shortage of train drivers. We need to think like this, because if we do what we're doing today, we do it again tomorrow, we get the exact same result, right? And what we're doing today isn't working. So it needs out the box thinking.
It's the same with that care sector. Do you know what I mean? We're important care workers when we've got a population of people that could be doing that job, and most probably want to do that job. But again,
I think that's Kev, on a minute. See, when you were at school, there would have been people in your year at school that were like, I want to be a nurse. Right?
Aye.
I don't hear that now.
No, I know.
But we need to get back to that. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not a nurse, but it's working in a care home, it's working in the care sector, we need to encourage people that these are, it's better than sitting in the house and getting your pip, right? So, a lot of kids, when they're looking, our generation fucked it up a bit. We did get a lot of people that are, they don't like to work, they're a bit work shy. And when you're born into that environment, then that's kind of your default setting. But we need to try and break that chain and, make sure that our kids have a bit of pride and dignity about them. And all right, you might go to work and you might only get £100 more than you're getting on the brew, but is that no better than sitting in the house and playing the PlayStation, right? And we need to look at a benefit system that's there are people in society that need help, okay, that need a strong benefit system. But when we've got an acceptance of people just cheating it, everybody's got a setback, everybody's got a motor, right? That means we can't give more to the people who genuinely could do with more. So it's not about cutting people's benefits. It's about having a fair system. Where see if you genuinely do need help because you've got a disability or an illness or whatever, the situations, when we should be a society that can help you. But there's only so much in the pot. And it doesn't work now. It's broke. So we need to start,
There's no encouragement for...
A minute.
When you go.
If for every second you French kissed Thomas Kerr, one dangerous illegal immigrant was deported, how long would you kiss him for? I'd end up having to put a refugees welcome here banner up. I'm like, sorry guys, I'm off to the left.
I'm off to the
I
left.
couldn't even take one for the team, right?
I'm
Oh,
not-
what a horrible position to put me in.
That's a shocker of a question.
There's a nice one. Candy, being able to vote for Craig Houston's the first time I've actually had hope in the process for a city surviving another 6 months. Thank you very much. That's
Candy's
encouraging.
lovely.
That just makes me.
I met Candy at the Glasgow protest. She's lovely.
There's a shout, Tech. I think I'll write the word Jobby in the first paper and then Craig in the second. Why not just score out somebody's name and write Craig in the first one and tick that? Right? What I do with the council tax rip-off, I don't really know what they can do in Holyrood because the council tax should be controlled by your council. That's kind of their bag, that generates them the revenue to then go and fix your communities. So I don't know if there's much to, and people that say things, stupid things like the SNP, you make promises that you can't keep. Saying, remember they told us one year, I'll never forget the banner. It was Sturgeon, she looked about 12 at the time, she was wee Jimmy Cranky, do it or not, and Salmon standing there, and it said, we will abolish council tax. Well, they got voted in.
Jimmy
And I don't even
Cranky.
think Sturgeon was shaving at the time. It was that long ago, right? So, right.
It's shaving. That's a belter.
You all right, kid?
Oh,
It was a while ago. I swear to God.
oh, that's fucking brilliant. She must be shaving.
Kev. Right. Hey, can I make it back to point, right? This is serious stuff,
stop
this
that.
election, right? So I don't know. I genuinely don't know, Scottish Tina. And I do apologise for Kev putting me off here with this serious question. Do you know what I mean? So there's no point me. If I don't know what I could do about it, is the honest answer. But see if I could get in there and help by doing something, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? But don't ever see a politician that says yes to everything, right? I've got news for you. They're lying, right? So see if you've got this big on his face going, I don't know, going to no fault with me. Because I'm just being like straight with you. If I can do something, then I'll do it.
Oh dear.
Craig Houston, can I ignore my first vote and only vote for you? Yes, this is a sort of thing. Because we say the first and the second vote, it's no you're putting two votes on the same paper. There's two different ballots. And it's the second paper I'm on, so people call it your second vote. And that's the best one for me to be on because there's 7 seats get given out of that second paper. And that's why I went and done that, because to win a first past the post would have been a bit difficult, right? And you're up against parties with millions of pounds to throw at it. So it's the second paper. You don't need to vote in both papers. First one's your constituency vote, second one's your regional vote. I'm not on the first vote, that first paper. I'm only on the second vote once Sturgeon said I shave, right? He's gone. Kev, you've knocked your camera. We're looking at your sky.
What? Oh, it was like that time you said it was that video. It was like that time you said it was that video, that crackpot, the councillor that went to the toilet during a Zoom meeting, but did the tweets and read it.
That was right up there, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a belter. Absolute cracker. Check this video out.
That was the best ever.
Oh, that was brilliant.
No, I didn't find them. And where are we?
What was that? Did you find Thomas?
Aye. Now I've lost my produces.
DSL sent that.
Thomas. See, this is a thing as well, right? Who started calling them New Scots? It's a derogatory term. They have gaslight people into using that term. Well, I refuse to use it, right? And I'll tell you why.
Aye.
You can only be Scottish if you're born in Scotland, right? That's kind of the way it works, right? Maybe if you're or in the army and you were in Germany when you were physically born, you're probably still Scottish, right? But see, if you're no born here and you come here as a migrant, you can't become Scottish. It is impossible because the only thing that you can apply for to change your nationality that you've got now is British citizenship. So you could be New British. That is possible. It's impossible, and I still wouldn't agree with the term, but it's impossible to be a New Scot. And I love it. See if I get a Holyrood and somebody keeps saying that. I need to say when I get a Holyrood. Somebody wants to use that term. I'll be like with a buzzer. What do you mean? What's a New Scot? It's impossible. And I think it is derogatory as well because it totally cheapens the notion of being Scottish in the first place if you can just become one.
Aye.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Aye.
And it is bollocks, mate.
I mean, I must admit, I mean, looking at the parties and looking at I'm honestly, I keep thinking to myself, am I in a coma and I'm going to wake up and this was just all a bad dream? I mean, you've got that Scottish Common Party, right? Cameron Butt, all his party political broadcaster in Urdu. You've got the Greens that are just rolling out the most weirdest and the most craziest crackpots that I think they think they could find. You've got the SNP that are just rolling out everything that's no Scottish and still trying to say that the Scottish National Party. I mean, and then you've got Anas Sarwar now turning around and saying that he's looking for possibly an independent Scotland, and that's the Labour Party.
Crackers, mate. They're bonkers.
Oh,
absolutely bonkers a lot. But I think what they're doing is, and I've spoken about this before you came on, Kev, because like some of us were here for 8 o'clock, right?
aye. Well, I was at a protest, son.
Right. I think what they're doing is, whatever they are, they think, oh, I need more votes than people that are that core.
Aye.
So I need to say things that attract other people to vote for me. Right? Now, that's what parties are doing. Big Daft Craig ain't doing that. Big Daft Craig's saying, I'm a Rangers fan, I'm a unionist, can we get past that? Let's talk about the shite I want to deal with. Right?
Aye.
And people, you know that, you've seen it. The only me are coming towards me. There's loads of people even in this chat that are going, well, I'm a Celtic fan or I was a nationalist and I'm coming to vote for you. Right? But the parties don't have enough about them that folk would go, do you know what, I disagree with that wee bit and that wee bit about you, but I'm still going to vote for you because you're good people. They can't do it. And I'm doing it with bucket loads.
Mm-hmm.
That's mental to me.
So,
but what they're going to do
you look at myself,
they're going to end up losing their core folk because they're so far away from them now that folk are going, you're not what I thought you were. So, bugger it.
I was talking about that down in Falkirk tonight because a couple of folk were like, oh, what school did you go to and that? And I told them what school I went. And I'm like, oh, we know what team you support if you went to that school. I said, but here's the thing, it's past football. It's past the Celtic Rangers divide. I couldn't care less if you're standing with a Rangers top on or flying a Union Jack at these things, because at the end of the day, they're the flags of my country. I don't care about any other flag now. Can we just stop all the foreign flags getting involved? I mean, even that independence march, Craig, there was Lebanese flags, there was Iranian flags, there was Israeli flags, there was Palestinian flags, and then you've got the half and halves. How anybody can take the saltire, the national flag of your country, the oldest flag in the world, and turn it into that, and then still try and tell me you're a patriot of Scotland? Nah, sorry, you don't. I'm not buying that. You just wouldn't do that. That's just wouldn't happen.
There's a question here. The bus driver on the bus I get to my mobility support centre is for Yemen, and I don't think they should have that job. Would you pass a law saying Scottish drivers and Scottish buses? I don't think you could pass that law, to be perfect. Again, this is me just being honest with folk. Don't fall out with me because I'm telling you the truth. Because you would need to say that about every job. And right now, we don't. What we need to do, though, is we need to be clever. And we need to, like, again, go into the schools and say, look, what do you want to do? Play the PlayStation all your life and be on your benefits every day? Or Do you maybe fancy a job as a bus driver because you can get about 40, 45 grand a year doing that? Wait, I'll show you what you could do with 45 grand a year, right? And we need to get into kids about 14 and start saying, look, there is a path here. You don't need to do what maybe your parents have done, maybe most people in your street are doing, and infuse kids to actually have a wee bit of self-respect and say, do you know what? I'll wake up in the morning, I'm about to do some work and have that good sort of Scottish upbringing again. Make that important. And then you'll not need any Yemeni's bus drivers because we'll have our kids going, I'll be a bus driver. I'll be a train driver. I'll work in the factory. I'll work in the care system. But to say that we have a skill shortage, we don't have a skill shortage. We've got plenty of people. What we have is a get up off your arse shortage. That's what we've got. And we've created that. We can't blame Westminster or Maggie Thatcher for that. We created that, right? And we need to be big enough to accept that and say, how do we fix it? You don't need Westminster's powers to fix that because we control education. So you get into any school and say anything you want. I mean, we're going into schools now and telling them they can be a horse if they want, right? Surely they can let folk like me go into schools and say, do you want to be a bus driver, right? So we can control that.
Can I just, there's a guy called Alan Taggart, 51, in your comments. He's from Northern Ireland. His daughter works for the NHS in Scotland, saving Scottish lives.
Aye.
Can a bit of respect for her, please? Well, she's British, so there's absolutely no reason why she can't be in Scotland.
She's an Ulster person. She's a Northern Irish. What is this? I missed that one. Is it maybe, she should be Scottish?
No, that's what the comment says. I'm from Northern Ireland. Daughter works for NHS in Scotland, saving Scottish lives. Bit of respect for her, please. Every bit of respect
I don't think
for her.
anybody's not got respect for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lassie. She's a British person working in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. And I hope she's getting paid well because she's bloody deserves it.
Aye.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. I'm very disabled and it's good to feel represented. Don't forget about us all the time. Listen, I've got mates that are disabled. Well, one of them passed away recently. He was one of the last, the thalidomide kids. Remember that horrible thing? And, I spent a lot of time going to football matches with him up and down the country and whatever and getting to know him and understanding. I mean, he was very independent, stubbornly independent. But it taught me a lot. Do you know what I mean? About how I just take things for granted. I can walk into any shop. You might not be able to get a chair into any shop, right? And people are very quick to knock the benefit system and say, well, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. And in many instances, they're right. But what we can never forget is there are people who would love to go to work. Just can't. So what do we do? Do we just put them in a hospital and put them through euthanasia when they get to 50? Because that sort of shite annoys me as well. But with the benefit system, we're paying too much out. But that doesn't mean we're paying certain people too much. It means we're paying too many people something. And if you could get a way of having a really fair system, you could still save money in total, give the people that need it a wee bit more help when they need it. I don't think that's unfair. I don't think that's unrealistic. And there's somebody else talking about it took them 16 years to get PIP for an illness, including multiple. That's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Aye.
Somebody multiple sclerosis and it takes them 16 years to get PIP. How mad?
Look at also angina and gastroparesis, or whatever that is.
By that first one.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of that. You've definitely got multiple sclerosis. There's no kidding on with that one. My uncle's got that. Sorry, that. Right? There's no kidding on with that. Mental. There we go. Revitalise the people, revitalise the country. Young, red-blooded, vitality in shape, white, fighting age males being put into positions to look up, return the masculine. That's no bad argument.
Look at that one, Craig. The schoolmaster say this is for Claire. The school my son goes to has got a litter tray in it for a pupil because she identified.
Do you know, son, school in Glasgow, didn't it?
There was one up the road from me done the exact same, and there was parents actually put a petition in for to get that to happen.
Madness. Sir Stevenson has been for reform the past 3 days. Fair play to you, mate. I'm not a reform fan, but you're getting yourself involved in the process, mate. I've got to respect that. You've not had any hassle, which you expected, which is good. but also noticed previous elections, no SNP shite plastered over windows. I'm seeing that as well, mate. I've been all over the city the last week, and I think I've seen one SNP poster out on Barton Road from memory. I'll need to have a check. I'll be there again tomorrow or the next day. But aye, and I think the polls are no normally hunters out, right? But see if the polls were hunters out with this one and SNP didn't get the level that they're expecting, I wouldn't be that shocked. Because I think, see a lot of people that are in the Groovy gang where all their pals are SNP supporters, see for to turn around to them and go, listen, I'm not voting for us this time, I can't be bothered with their shite, right? I'm voting Big Rooston, right? It's difficult to say it out loud. But when people get in that polling station and it's just them and the bit of paper, there's nobody watching, you can tick what you want. But the fact that they're not plastered all over the place, because every election has been like that. There's a question. What do you guys think's a big draw for the younger ones to get to the Green Party? Listening to their politics and ideas, it doesn't make sense. Well, it doesn't make sense because we're not just left school. But if you've just left school with chronic curriculums and stuff that we get, no any big surprise that they come out thinking like a greenie. Do you know what I mean? Because that guy Ross Greer helps write some of the stuff that we put in our schools, and we've got too many lefty teachers. So we need to find some solutions for that. So the big draw is it just sounds like what they're getting taught at school and at universities and colleges. By the way, they're just as bad, if not worse. And that's no right. The schools should not be political movements; they should be education movements. And if we maybe get back to that, we'd have better quality of kids.
There's a question being asked to you. What's your opinion in going to do about the drugs problem in Glasgow? And that's for that down the rabbit hole.
Can you let me get back? I'm going through them in order, mate. So I'm just scrolling down.
All right, no bother, mate.
When we're going to see party political broadcast for the Big Hoosty Party? Never. You will not see a single thing about me in the mainstream media. Do you know why? Nobody wants me there. I'm going to get to Holyrood. Right, I'm convinced of that level of support I've seen the last 2 weeks. We just need to make sure people know that this isn't a pie in the sky thing. Because I'm in a competition where there's 7 seats up for grabs, right? That's a message we need to get across if we're talking to people when you're saying, you know, I'm voting that Big Craig. Oh, what's the point? He's not going to get in. I will. But if folk convince herself it's first past the post and there's only 1 seat, then they'll not vote for me. So we need people to know that it is very, very doable, and we'll be all right. But I'll get no favours whatsoever off the mainstream. Now, I have got an option presented itself to me in the last 24 hours of something that I could do in the last couple of days of the election. And if I do this, the mainstream would not miss it. They would have to report on it, and they would have to say some very bad things about me. It would be a negative story in the paper. And I'm actually just thinking, I might just do it anyway, because at least there'll be people out there, listen, they'll remember me for the Rangers days, but they'll not even know because I'm on social media or YouTube or whatever that I'm up for election, right? And they might just see in the paper and go, so they're saying something bad about me, but go, hey, that's that big boy, I remember him. And I might get a few ticks, right? So I'm weighing that up now. But I'll not get any favours off any of them. Michael, really, really sorry to hear your news there, buddy. I take it actually Borders the dog. I read it first, I thought it said brother. That would have been even worse. I mean, it's bad enough if it is Border, but I read that as brother to start with, so sorry to hear that news, mate.
Aye. Michael's a good lad. He's always in here.
Where are we? Where we get to? It's no scrolling now. I'm getting tired, Kev. I'm not going to be doing this much longer.
The bar, big man. I'm the same.
Right, there's a question here. Guys, see if you put a question in, I don't want to miss the questions. If you put 2 Qs at the start, I'll not miss it because I'm scanning down hundreds of messages. What's your opinion in going to do about the drug problem in Glasgow? Right, I'm very, very fortunate that I've spent about the last 2 years talking to a very clever person called Anne-Marie Ward, who runs a drug rehabilitation charity. And she's no shy. I'm not, saying anything out of turn here. She had her own problems in her life many moons ago. So she's been through the mill, and now she helps people. And she was man enough to say it. Years ago, she thought having a consumption room would be a good thing. But before we even opened ours in Glasgow, she was saying, don't do this, it's terrible. And she was basing that on what happened in, I think it was Porto, or I don't think it was Lisbon, it was in Portugal. Sure, it was Porto, where they had one, and unfortunately it didn't work. It actually made the thing worse, no than better, because like saying to people, I just take your drugs, you're still taking the drugs, right? But now they're talking about having one in Edinburgh. So we kind of need to say no. And what she believes would be the best thing, and she's more intelligent than me, is we have to offer people rehab places, because some people rehab will work better for them than taking methadone for the rest of their life, because methadone is just a replacement. It's still a drug. So you don't get out of that cycle. And that in itself should start seeing affecting the people who've got drug issues just now. And what we kind of need to do is we kind of need to stop making drugs sexy. And what I mean by that was my son, when he left high school and he was at university, and I can't remember, we were talking about drugs for some reason, whatever, and it came up, and he was like, Dad, there was people in my school in third year taking coke at school. And you're like, what? Is that where we are? I mean, when I was at school, folk would maybe have a joint, that would be as mental as it would get. But now, it's like folk will have a line of coke at school. And you're like, that's mental. So we need to try and help the people that are in the cycle that want help, and go and help them. And the people who are going to come into the cycle next is try and kind of nip that in the bud and try and get them not to do that. And I'm not that clever how to deal with that one, but I know Anne Marie's ideas make sense on how to deal with the ones at the other side. But these things just they're not difficult. They're not difficult at all. But there's a thing there, right? Derek saying common sense. That's what it is. Just apply. Can we apply common sense to things? I've spent a career making decisions and having to work out puzzles, right? Business and working with sales teams and stuff. And like, okay, what would we need to do better next? How do we improve this? And analysing things. And most of that stuff was just applying common sense and logic. You'll not go far wrong. Right, where are we? Right, let's go to the Proverbs. I've missed it, but whoever down the rabbit hole has asked a question that I've obviously missed. Go and stick it up again with two Qs.
You've already answered it. It was the one to do with the drug problem.
Right. Craig, thanks for your kind and sensitive words about people with mobility challenges. Craig, separately, if I identify as Thomas Kerr, can I get a shot of Ali? Is that his girlfriend? I don't know. You can identify as him if you want. I certainly wouldn't.
It's maybe his brother.
Right, serious one for change. Realistically, what can an independent do against the big parties? Is just feel they'll gang up and make your life hell? Of course they will. Bring it on. I've had some pretty mad odds before with the Rangers stuff back in the day, right? And we won, right? And what can I do? I can go in. Whoever's in power is just go through every single thing with a fine tooth comb. Now, can I change? No, listen. See if SNP get a majority government, nobody's changing much, right? But you've just got to hold them accountable for every single thing. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, see the Michael Matheson thing, for example. It took nearly a year before we figured out he'd ripped his off for 11 grand, right? No, I'll be in. I've got a team of people that are already put their horn up to come and help me in that building. Some very clever people. And it's what we want to do is to be the Rupert Lowe of Scotland, right? That's my aim. When you get in there and you just highlight stuff and you show people stuff and folk go, no, we've had enough, right? So when it comes to the council elections like that, they bangers, they're not getting my vote, right? And we do that. And then the next time when we're up for elections, I'll be like, all right, I've done 5 years, I'm out, right? I'm 58, I can't be bothered with another 5 years in here. And hopefully we've encouraged other people to go in. And by that point, we've exposed so much for the inside that practically it will be the SNP that will get the most votes, right? Hopefully they don't get a majority. And just expose that much that even the maddest fans are like, can't do this anymore. Just can't do this. And you can still put bills in and try to get laws passed. And the cute thing is, it's how you frame them. So it doesn't matter what you want to achieve, but you frame it in such a way that you can't lose, because people will either look really stupid going, I'm voting against that, or they vote against it because they can't, like, you just double tie them, right? Get them in a half, what is it you call that, wrestling move? Anyway, and I'll give you an idea, right? See if I was putting, and it's people are trying to do it just now, put acts into Parliament in Westminster to ban halal meat, for example. I wouldn't have put it through in any words, because that's dead easy for people to go, that's Islamophobic, that's racist, you're just looking, right? And you can't argue with that. You know, that is an argument. You might not agree with it, but you can see where it's coming from. So you're actually giving folk the objection, and that's where my sales background comes in, right? You don't give folk the objection when you're asking them the question. You want to ask them a question that they sound stupid saying no to, right? So if you'd have wrote that legislation up and you made it totally, never mention the word halal, don't even mention the things, you made it an animal rights issue, and you made it about humane slaughter of animals and saying it kind of isn't right to just slit an animal unstunned throat to throat, right? Can you imagine the Greens trying to argue against that? Saying, oh, we want to kill animals really inhumanely. You with me? So you've got a better chance of getting it through. What have you achieved? You've achieved now banning halal meat, but you've not put up objections to make it easy for people to object against it. So it doesn't matter what it is you want put through. Having it thought out properly is key. That you make people like really, really difficult to say, I'm not wanting that. And there's loads of things that we need to change in society, and I've got a few ideas how I would word things, but I don't want to give the game away and just like see right through it. But the halal one, for example, that's how I would have framed that. I would have framed that purely as a animal rights issue. Now, we all like animals in this country. We're a nation full of animal lovers. It's just some of our visitors don't like dogs and all that. We're quite cool with them, right? So try to get politicians in a place going like that, nah, we want to be nasty to animals. We would really, really like to just slit their throats. They're not going to do it. And if they did, they'll look like absolute see you next Tuesday. So that's the sort of stuff that you can realistically get. Another thing you'll definitely get with me, Tech, is I challenge you to find another candidate out of the hundreds that are up all across Scotland. Go and find me another candidate that you would have faith with to hold these people to account, and no be shy and calling them out in the floor of that place with all the cameras and all the nation watching, right? Go and find me somebody else. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet here. I'm just telling you something that I've figured out myself because I'm mad, right? I've got the minerals for this. I've proven I've got the minerals. I've done it with the Rangers thing for 3 years. I got my life threatened. I was arrested 4 times over my actions and never ever charged. It was just people trying to silence me. I had ashes at my back door. I was given an Osmond warning. I was sued for £200,000. But you know what? I won. Because Mike Ashley's not there anymore. Charles Green's not there anymore. Imran Ahmed, they're not there anymore. These deals aren't there anymore. Right? And so I've got a bit of a track record for it. I don't back down. I'm not, by the way, I could probably couldn't fight sleep now with my bad back, right? But it's not about the physical thing, it's a mental thing. I just like, nah, not having it. I don't care what you want to do to me. And by the way, there'll be shit flung in newspapers about me between now and the election, because see when these idiot politicians, and there's someone already realising it, there's people in Reform really unhappy with me because they can see that I'm affecting them, right? And they're scared that I could, because I'm telling folk, every party's shit, right? Because guess what? It's a competition I'm in, right? One of them said to me today, you're making this all personal about you. Of course I am. I'm an independent candidate. I can't make it about anybody else, right? As if that was some sort of slur. You're making this all personal. It's all about you, right? You go and make it about the forum. You know what I mean? That's what your campaign should be, right? How stupid is that, telling an independent candidate your campaign's all about you? What am I mean? Make it about Elton John? Fucking, how mad's that, right? Because they can see I'm possibly going to affect them, but I don't care. And when I get in there, I don't care who it is, it's a skank. I'll call them out. And what I would say to people is, go and see if you can find me on the Glasgow list, a candidate that you've got more faith in and holding these reprobates to account. I'll vote for them, right? I'll sit down, right? I'll stop putting myself through all this shite and grief and all these accusations I get. right? All these endless sleepless nights I'm having right now, I'll stop it in a heartbeat. If you can go and find me a candidate on that Glasgow list that is going to do a better job than me, I'll back down. But you'll not find one because I've looked. And that's why I'm standing and that's why I'm fighting so hard, right?
My phone's about to run out of charge, man.
That doesn't make sense to me. I can't see myself voting for you, but you would be better than most. That's kind of bonkers. Does that make sense to you, Kev?
Not really, no. If you're better than most, then why would you not give you the vote?
I'd love to know. Right, questions. I'm at 21:52, right? So I'm about 10 minutes behind on the chat here. There you go. You seen the Govan Hall Roma video? I kind of, if it's the one that I'm thinking about, my mate made it with Alex. If it's the same one I'm thinking about, if it's a newer one, then no. Question: RAPE alarms given to schoolgirls in Dumfries, with Glasgow having the highest percentage of asylum seekers. What would you do to keep our daughters safe? Right, well, I went to Dumfries to actually get the truth for this for myself. And it's absolutely ridiculous what we've got there. The biggest problem we've got with safety in the streets in Glasgow we are the asylum capital of the United Kingdom because the Scottish Parliament, in their wisdom, changed the law. And it used to be the councils decided who that they would give houses to. And some councils, most of them, they made it that you had to be from that council area before you could get a council house, right? So then law changed, whether they wanted it or no. The government, Scotland, said, no, anybody who's homeless in any region in Scotland, in any council, regional council, you must give them a house. Right? So what's happened now is asylum seekers got wide to that. Because once they were given asylum, say they're in a hotel, they're given asylum, I think they've got something like 20 days to bugger off into the hotel, right? So what they would like walking out the streets going, where do we go? So they'd go to council there and they'd be like, well, no, because we're not legally bound to house you because our councils are no held by that. Then they get wind that, well, Scotland's different. So where's the biggest town in Scotland? Well, that's my city, right? And that's why we've got more than anywhere else in Britain, right? So that's a simple one to start with. We need to stop that law. We need to turn that round. And what we need to tell councils is, see the people of these towns, they're first, right? Families for these towns, priority. I personally would say second in the list for priority is ex-service personnel, because we're pretty shit to our ex-service personnel, right?
Absolutely.
And then, we have the list going down like that. And right at the bottom of the list is people are no fae here. Right? I'm really, really sorry. You've got a bit of a shit life, but can I look after my own people first? I don't see what's wrong with that. Right? And that should help the amount of people that are in our streets giving potential risks to our daughters. I think it's disgusting that we have to give kids RAPE alarms, and we think that's going to solve the problem. Right? It's terrible, and we need to nip this in the bud. And then we need to get some people in Westminster. See, people think, oh, immigration, that's only Westminster's problem. Well, they've got the biggest part to play in this. But how we deal with the councils, we made that decision. Nobody made that decision for us. That was Scottish people in the Scottish Parliament, and we need to just take it in the chin that we voted them in. You might not have voted for them yourself, but as a population, they were democratically voted in, so that's our fault. That's on the Scottish people, and we can change that. What I would also do, I would encourage the police forces not to be so silly when they're dealing with bad word vigilante groups. I don't know how to be Paul at North and South. I've met him and his wife. I just met them again yesterday. Great people. And the police treat them pretty shit. We treat people like Alex Kearney. We put people like that in court and find them guilty of going out and catching bad men that are wanting to do bad things to your youth. That doesn't make sense to me. We need laws to protect people that are going out their way to try and look after our communities. So that's got to change. What else are we? I can't even get to read all these nice quotes because I'm just trying to get the cute questions done. I don't want to miss any out. Craig, have you not just given the game away with a halal plan reading it in the live stream? No, because the parties that are pushing that have decided they're going down the halal route, right? So if it's done, I can't influence that. that decision's been done. My mate Imran, the postal vote idea text. Yeah, he said he's only joking. Would be really grateful if you could read that out. Don't have many pals given mobility issues. Cheers, Rusty. Brilliant. Sorry if you answered this, mate. What's your thoughts on Deirdre Brock's comments last night about kids no needing to read, write, and maths because they have the internet? These people are bonkers, mate. That was a woman. I think I heard the quote about, if kids can't count in the lead school, it's not the end of the world. They've got calculators. Wow. Like, see if you can't get the concept of doing something like counting, right, by the time you're 16 and leaving school. What are we doing for when you go into school, 11, 12 years of your life? If you leave no counting, we've failed you, right? And that shows you the intelligence of the people that we've been voting into our positions of power. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, you have a calculator. But see if you don't actually know how add, subtract, multiply, divide works. Well, what good's a calculator? The calculator's only there to work out the really big, complicated ones that you could probably do with a pen and a piece of paper. You just get there a bit quicker. But you actually need to know what it is you're putting in. Or you're mad. At least with spell checking, somebody said to me once, spell checking is a bad thing. I was like, no, because I'm pretty shit at spelling. And see if you do something wrong, and it comes up and it highlights it as wrong. And you go, oh, right, and you learn how to spell that the next time. The only time I get into a problem now is when I've got my big thumbs on an iPhone and I type that fast and I'm putting a social media post. Sometimes I get it wrong, right? But spell checking is not that horrible thing, right? Because you're still learning how to spell, right? But if you don't get taught how to spell at school, you wouldn't have a clue if you were typing the word would. Would it be W-O-O-D or W-O-U-L-D, right? So you can't, if you can't give your kids these basic skills in 12 years of teaching them, why you want to teach them how to put Nutella on a banana? Do you know what I mean? Bonkers. It's kept disappeared.
No, I'm here, mate.
All right, doing something.
I want to put my phone on charge, eh?
Right. So I've done all the questions, I hope. I've been on here now for over 2 hours. My back's killing me. I need to go and lie down flat in the bed and do some of my exercises. I've had great night. I've enjoyed this. We were doing these about 2 and 3 times a week last summer, and I was thoroughly enjoying them, and we were getting a wee community of people. You were all talking, and I can see like the Michaels, the Snack Bars, Lady K's, just Proverbs, just on that what I can see in front of me now. There was half a dozen messages. And then again, I don't know what happened, but it was kind of stopped. So I'm keen to keep them going. If nothing else, a pure selfish, absolutely put it on the table, selfish reason, I want to get elected. So I'll be doing these Tuesdays and Thursdays. The only reason I didn't do it yesterday was because I was going to Edinburgh. So we'll be back on again tomorrow night. We'll maybe try and get somebody with more fun than Kev on.
Aye, right, behave yourself. You get, look, I told you I was going down to the protest, right? Then you're pestering me to come on live. I come on live, right? And you ask me serious questions. So it can't be fun when you're asking serious questions.
Right, see that person that missed your question, he said it's 10 up. See, unless you put double Q in front of you, I probably did miss it. Go and stick it on the now before I shut up, eh? Big Kev the Cluffer.
Oh, shit.
Kev.
I'm here.
Kevin.
Can you hear me?
Have you ever thought, you know how you change now and again? Aye.
Oh, away you go with that, man.
Have you ever considered? No, you've changed, right? Have you ever considered changing to a fur?
A what?
I think that'd be quite good.
Change to a what?
Furry.
Oh, no.
A furry.
See, there's one thing. I've got a brain between my ears. So I don't need to be that
It's given to foreign nationals in Scotland staying 6 months or more. So who's voting the bad decision makers? Is it up to us? Well, we need to take responsibility for who we vote, right? Now, you might get a government you don't like, but if they get the most votes, then we've just got to say we've got some Scottish people with different opinions than us. But I think giving foreign nationals a vote is totally bonkers, right? That doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't give foreign nationals the right to vote. If you're British and you live in Scotland, if you're anywhere like that guy, his daughters were from Northern Ireland, you get to vote, right? See, if you're no, you don't get to say. And the worst one for me is they can stand for election. See, if I was actually motivated to move to another country at any part of my life, I would be so respectful of that country that I would not, even if it was allowed, I wouldn't vote. And I wouldn't think for 1 minute, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go and stand election in here. That is completely disrespectful. But we allow that. That's not right. Go to fight to try and change these things. The one that done my nutting, who's that Canadian one, Kev? Or, is it Slater?
Oh, Lorna Slater.
Right, she wanted the euthanasia thing to get passed, right?
She's
Right.
mental.
See, when it didn't get passed, do you know she was in tears in that chamber? And she told some stop story about something in her family, and she's like, and I want that people here to have that right. Let me remind you, Lorna Slater, you're from Canada. Canada's got that law. Canada's killing vagrants using that law, right? So see if that law is really, really, really that important to you. Go to fucking Ottawa or Toronto, right? Where you're fae. Don't come here and forcing us, then sit there greeting when the Scottish people didn't agree with you, right?
She's
Off you
mental.
pop. Hey,
She
I
has seriously
my
got a screw
note.
loose.
Will you get authority to decide where the buses of the new Scots go? Because remember, when American Republican areas sent the incoming migrants to Obama's hometown, no, we don't, because that's reserve power from our Home Office. So, and when Labour came in, they went, no, everybody's getting a fair share. So we're going to get 10% of them because Scotland's got 10% of the population. So we'll get 10% of them. I can't change that. So, unfortunately, and again, that's maybe not what you want to hear. It's, oh, that's Sandy. But don't fall out with Big Craig for being honest. I've not got a magic wand, right? So there's going to be some things where I need to say, can I help you? Right? But what politicians do is they say aye to everybody's problems and then let them all down. But Craig will do that. Can you solve this problem? No. I'm really, really sorry. I'd love to. I share the same issues with you. Can I solve that? No. Do you want me to say aye, and then in 5 years' time you're going, he was a big tadger, he never solved that? So, no, I can't, and hopefully you understand why. Candy, did anyone else see the videos of the guy looking for his dog outside McDonald's? I think it was Big Kev he was talking to.
I can't mind that.
Kev.
Can you hear me, aye?
I hear you.
Aye, can you hear me, aye?
Yes.
Aye.
Lady K, we've got that one going. Obviously, I don't think it would, although a lot of Celtic supporters are voting for me, I think asking anybody to stand out Parkhead, put leaflets out for me, could get them in bother, because a small portion of their fans probably don't like me. I'm prepared to take a chance up here. There's a couple of boys coming up from England when Rangers play Motherwell in a week and a half's time, and they want to help. So that'll be a big push. There's 50,000 people going to Ibrox that day. About 25,000 of them will live in Glasgow, because 50% of season ticket holders at Rangers are Glasgow, another 50% are outside Glasgow. So we'll have 25,000 potential voters there. But that's not at all, because 25,000 potential voters will go home to their family, right? So might be more. So we're going to, that's the right big thing for me. So we need to get really busy that day. There is only one home game at Ibrox between now and the election, and we just need to get on it. And I've got plenty of honours coming up for that.
When's
So that'll be a
that?
busy day. What, pal?
When is that?
Week and Saturday. You don't need to come, mate, because you've got a Map Island all over your face. You'll get slapped.
I've got what? Sorry? You're a fucking bell end. You really are.
I couldn't even
You're
kid on
absolute
and call
bone.
you Billy and try and pull it off, right? I do that now and again, Mr. Friends are Celtic fans when I take them into Rangers places. I call them Billy for a laugh, right?
I've
But
got
no, you'd get me hung, taking you to
I've
right.
got
So get away.
how?
Wee Alec could pull it off, right? He could pull it off.
How could I know? Like,
Mate, Proverbs, I'm no surprised, mate. It's been that I went through that journey in the last 2 weeks with people that just, I'm like, wow, that is brilliant, right? But what I'm saying about the Celtic thing is there is a very small percentage of the Celtic support that have totally different politics to me, and some people think they talk for the whole Celtic support. I'm not that stupid, right? But if you imagine I got 2 volunteers to go up to Parkhead to hand out Craig Houston leaflets, I'm quite sure the vast majority of people, even if they didn't want to vote for me, would not be disrespectful to the people handing out the leaflets, right? But if they are offered those leaflets to a small percentage of that support, they could be in bother. And I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'll go up myself.
I've got a protest that day anyway.
Aye, shut it.
But I wouldn't shut it. I would gladly stand outside Ibrox and hand out fucking leaflets.
So where's the protest? It's more important than getting your big mate.
Well, you just fucking sat there and
elected.
said you didn't need my help anyway.
Biggin, don't be like that.
Oh, don't start, man. Fucking Jesus.
What?
I'm saying nothing, man, honestly. Well, listen, if you want, I'll come through and give you a dig out then. I'll come and do that, no bother. I'll just rattle through and give you a dig out if you're wanting.
There's a comment there. Bad show trying to take Tory votes at this crucial time. If that's aimed at me, well, I'll take anybody's vote, mate. It's a competition. That's kind of, I've never stood in an election before, so nobody's ever voted for me before. So anybody that votes for me, I need to take them from somewhere. Apart from the ever-growing number of people, by the way, that I've heard saying two things. One, I've never voted before, but I've got a voting card. I'm going to use it this year. That's mind-blowing. And other people who have not even been registered to vote in their life saying, I'm going to register to vote so I can vote for you. That blows my mind, right? But see everybody else, they've never voted for me. Because nobody's ever voted for me. So I need to get votes for somewhere. And again, go and find me the Tories that would do a stronger job. Tories will get one definite in that list anyway, right? They might get two. But see the second or third in the Tory list, go and look into them, right? And go, who would you rather have? So I hear this, but I'm no bothered. I don't care, right? Because I'm fed up with all the political parties. They've all done something shite. Tories destroyed this country. Tories told us that we were going to cut migration and made it worse, right? So I'm sorry, taking Tory votes at what crucial time? Tories can't win the election anyway. They'll be lucky if they've got half a dozen seats in there this time. So Reform will take more Tory votes than me. Go and have a shout at them because I'm past caring, right? This is about me getting into that place. So we've got a normal person in there. So sorry if I upset you, Biggin, but that's just the fact. Yeah. I need people to vote for me that have voted for other people, and we'll get it. There's my pals at Rangers Rabble. What's happening, bud? They're doing well, mate. Don't shout too loud in your You better tell folk in your podcast, by the way. Big Hoosty is up for election, right? So, and I don't know what that says, Parkade. It sounds like I'm bad mouthing the place. I don't know what I've said to make that thing, but you can't please everybody all the time. I'm telling you the truth, right? There's loads of Celtic supporters voting for me because they tell me, right? But realistically, me sending folk up to Parkade with my leaflets, 90% of that ground wouldn't bat an eyelid, right? They might not want to vote for me, but they wouldn't be ignorant. But there's a very small percentage that they're quite like bad, right? That could potentially get somebody battered with standing there with Craig Houston leaflets. So if that is the truth, if that sounds as if I'm bad mouthing the place, then I'm not. I'm bad mouthing a very small percentage of people in that place. But if you want to take a huff with that, I'm sorry, but I just tell it as it is. All right.
Do you want me to come through next week and do the leaflets for you?
There's something I love this, Jibe, right? Do you know what? I used to clean ovens. I had a time in my life where I didn't have a job. And do you know what? I started cleaning ovens. And apparently this is something that's meant to, like, embarrass me. I don't know how to get in touch with him. He's asked me to put you in touch with him. So he's live just now. I don't know how to get in touch with Paul Thorpe, but unfortunately. Right. It's like a marriage guidance counsellor on YouTube. Right, I've done 2 hours, 20 minutes of this, and sorry Kev hasn't, because he's only part-time, but It's been good fun. It's been great fun, good comments, great questions, and some good fun with Kev being on as usual. So, going to wrap it up now. Thank you very much to everybody. Scottish St John's
Vote
question.
Big Tuesday.
That's not a question.
If you're in Glasgow, you know what to do. Big Tuesday on the second vote. Get it done. It's as simple as that, man.
Sandy, she gave me the hardest question out a lot. She's meant to be our pal. Coming in
I
here
know.
with really hard questions. She's getting part.
Aye, but
See, next time I see her in the space, I'm drugs abuse.
just get at it. You've got to, man.
Got to be
Right,
done.
so you want me to come through and give you one with leaflets next week?
Either. Do you know Scotty's coming up? Scotty and Michael.
Scott, all right.
They're coming up.
Aye, well, let's that.
We're talking about
Well,
coming
I
up a
mean,
weekend,
look,
and then we'd like to tie in my Rangers game. I says, mate, you'll not know the Rangers fixtures for another week because obviously we're splitting that. But as soon as the
aye.
fixtures come out, they go like that. But there is only one home game. The next home game's after the election. So it'll kind of need to be the Motherwell game. Is that brilliant? Up you come.
Well, what I'll do then is, well, I mean, it was either I
You
was
want a
going to
ticket
be
as well?
driving. Eh?
They're wanting tickets for the game. We'll get you one as well.
No, yeah, well, we'll not go that far. I didn't mind. I didn't mind handing out leaflets, but let's not push the boat out here.
All right.
Right, I know that's what you're. I know between you and my mate Billy. I mean, the two of you are constantly saying it. Do you know what I mean? But no. But I mean, it's either. I mean, look, I was either driving 4.5 hours to get to the protest, or I was going to. I could just come through to Glasgow. So it'll only take an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that with you.
Right. Okay. Right. So I'm going to go here. Go and get some dinner. I've no ate. Well, I had a salad out of what do you call it? Subway. I like their salads, by the way. But I've no, that's all I've ate today. So I'm going to need to go and get something to eat. I'm starving. My back's sore, and I've had a lovely night with all. And I've missed it. Do you know what I mean? It's been months since we've done these, and I don't kind of know how we ended up no doing them, mate. Can you remember what happened, Kev?
You just did. You
Because we were doing them
doing
all through the summer.
Aye.
Maybe it was a
I
lot.
just think.
We were talking a lot about the protests, and I was doing all my mad trips last June and July away to
Aye.
Dover and Cal and Lesbos and Ballymena. So we had a load of things to talk about, you know.
There's not really been much to talk about in the last few months, but look, things are starting to kind of heat up again. Hopefully, we'll start seeing a wee bit more people turning up at protests. Obviously, the 7th of May is going to be a big day for us all. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating.
I don't get that at all, right? See this here, right, mate? I appreciate everybody's allowed their opinions, right? I'm not going to fall out with you for having a different opinion for me, right? I just don't understand it, right? They're saying Lowe offered no deal with Tories, so he's another Cavalier vote splitting wanker, right? Well, Lowe's no up for any elections now, apart from his own wee county council doing in wherever it is he's for, right? So I'm kind of, I don't know how, I don't understand that jibe that he's another wanker. Now, the other thing is, I think by the time we get to the next big general election, his party could be the most popular party on the right of centre. So does that mean if you vote Tory then, and Reform then, that you're splitting the vote? The Tories made an arse of governing. Nobody can deny that. I would love to be able to say Tories, they're probably at the traditional parties before we started getting reforms and advancing and restores and all that. The line closest to me, right? So, you know, if they were a wonderful party, I would be delighted. They weren't a wonderful party. They were shite, right? So all these shit parties that we've had, you know, I mean, Westminster just goes from Labour to Tory to Labour to Tory. They all get 10, 12 years at it. And then we all get fed up and have a change, right? But I've had it that way for 100 years. So they don't have the first dabs on everything. They've had their chances. And Labour, they've somehow managed to, in less than 2 years, do worse things than the Tories did in the 14 years, I think, they were in power. But you know, nobody has the God-given right to be, if anybody doesn't vote for them, they're splitting the vote. That's how democracy works. I wouldn't mind, actually, if we had the American system, actually, if we only had two parties, and that was it. You were either right or left, right? Because it'd save all that shite arguing that I see to the
Aye.
parties on the right. But this Tories got to be, God-given right to they deserve the. They even took the name Unionist out their name. They used to be the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And by the way, I was impressed with Russell Finlay. I like Russell Finlay. I hope he gets back in, because I'd love to spend some time with that guy up there. And, right, who we're going to do on the day, right? Because he's got a set of gonads, that boy. Right, I like him. He's getting him in the rules. And the boy, what's his name, Dougie Ross, the referee, but he's not coming back. He's wrapped it. He's not up for election. I thought he'd done all right over the last 6 months that I was watching that Parliament. But again, nobody's got a God-given. Yeah, I'll tell you what, see whoever comes to general election has got the wave of popularity on the right. I can't lose, because it doesn't matter what one's got the best or the worst policies. Every one of them will do something to help this country, because immigration's a big issue, and every one of them will do something to affect immigration. But I'll not be going, oh, wait a minute, what about the Tories? No, we've got a country to save. What about the Tories? I don't care if it's reform, Tory, restore. Unfortunately, it looks as if it's never going to be advanced now, right? So one of them will be in the driving seat come the next big general election. And whoever it is, they'll get my support. Because we need to sort some shit out at Westminster. And we've probably got 2 elections to do it. So let's try and do it this one and start the ball rolling, because it would probably take 10 years, 2 terms, to actually fix all the problems we've got. And there's still no guarantee. But, and although I don't like reform, if they were the outright leaders, and I don't like some of their policies, but they would still improve it as we were where they now, I'd go with that. But I'll not be going, and apparently now I'm too harsh. Mate, it's there we go. The Tories were sabotaged. Right, well, if the Tories were sabotaged by who, and they allowed it to happen, and I don't buy this conspiracy theory that the Tories were somehow sabotaged. But aye, that's where we're at. Anyway, I've said it for a half an hour. I'm gone. I need to go. I'm knackered. I'm hungry. My back's killing me. Kev's doing my nut in. I need a way for it.
Aye, you too.
Kev, you've got your camera off.
I know, because I had to put my phone on charge.
No, Rwanda was working. How many people did we send to
There's
Rwanda?
no point in responding to that one. You know what I mean?
There we go. Sandy, folk day boosting for holiday. Top wingman Kev. Kev, see the first day I go to there, do you know what I laugh, right?
What?
I'll get a train up, right? And I get a backie off you in my scooter to go to my work.
Aye, no bother. Imagine the 2 years in the back. My scooter wouldn't move. It end up.
Remember that? Can you walk up?
It'd be like a flaming clown car. It'd be a bit slowing off it.
That's fun off it. Right, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Cheery
Right,
bye now.